show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Oh, yes, yeah. Good morning. Sorry, I'm just getting in from New York City. Actually, it was quite late, and oh, what a week.
So it'll be a spectacular show.
Oh, it's going to be a doozy.
You're already probably getting the hate mail. Where were you the last 3 days?
Well, my daughter graduated from college, so that was a big expense.
Yeah. The end of one expense, the beginning of another.
A big end. We
We did get the hate calls on Tuesday.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
was here asking. I mean, I was here.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, where's Bill? Where's Bill? Where's Bill?
Well,
Davey was your bullet catcher.
I got to tell you, I was going to do the show from down there.
I caught a bullet
And-
and backed out.
With all the, you just can't, and I think about it. When you think about it, you think, okay, I'm in New Hartford. I've got to be in, I don't know, Whitesboro in 15 minutes. So, all right, we'll leave in 5 minutes. But to be able to do the show and then make it to all the things we had to go to
Yeah.
was impossible. So that became what it became, and here we are. So, and by the way, it was a bit of a prelude to this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Because the university commencement was held at Yankee Stadium yesterday,
Were the concession stands open?
everything was open.
Oh.
And can I just complain about something?
No.
I'm just going to leave it at this. There are foreign people, because this NYU has a lot of foreign students.
Yes.
There are foreign people who do not understand courtesy.
Oh.
So my wife was intent on we have to be there before 9 o'clock. Otherwise, you end up sitting way out in right field where you can't see anything, or up in the upper deck. And it was not a nice. It rained in New York, so and it sprinkled and then rained and sprinkled. The Wednesday night's Mets game was just a debacle, and it might be the worst game they played all year long, and we got to sit through it. But there was a raccoon running around the city field in the stands. That was a doozy. Anyway, what is it with these people who don't understand? Like, okay, so I'll give you an example. She had us there just because my daughter had to walk in like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours before. Yeah. So how are we going to get her there? We're just not going to let her go. We went. So we're there about 90 minutes before, sitting in, if you know Yankee Stadium. We ended up getting behind home plate, just to the right of home plate, like the two seats to the right of home plate, but not outdoors because it was going to be raining. So we were set up in those reserved seats. Have you been to Yankee Stadium?
So these aren't the $1,000 seats.
No,
these are like above.
Well, it's up. Correct. These are up the stairs.
Is it the 200 level?
No. It was up the stairs, and you're sitting on the bench. It's almost like a bench for reporters, but they're reserved seats. You can sit there with your food. You can, and there's a chair and a little bench in front of you. So you almost have a table. It was the seats were perfect. So, and in front of us is the handicap, all the
so you got
wheelchairs.
Yeah.
So, and it isn't even like that. They're high chairs. So you're sitting on it, perfect for me.
I didn't say that.
So you're anyway, but there is a little walkway for the wheelchairs in front of us.
Yeah.
And these people would come in and just stand right like I could grab their hair and I'd get a full handful.
These were not wheelchair people. These were just standing.
These were not wheelchair people. These were foreign people. Now I see why Trump wants them all out.
Isn't that like a fire hazard or something?
It was,
blocking?
and all day long, the poor security guy had to keep coming over and telling people to move, and they don't speak a word of English. If he said one time, he must have said it 100 times. English, you speak English? No, you can't stand here. And then the front, obviously, the best seats in the lower level all filled up. There were no seats left. So we're just we're a fly on the wall during this point. And you're watching people come up to that right at home plate, going down the stairs to the great box seats. And he would say, no, there are no seats available. They would push right by him.
Oh, yeah.
And I think you know what I think is they speak English. I think they speak English, but
they sit there and say, "No, I don't speak any English."
My mother, my wife said that she thought that. Well, I'm not going to say what my wife thought.
This will be the end of the show.
So I will just say that. Oh my God! And it's like in that part of the world, they don't teach, and then we're leaving as if we've gone through. It was more amusing than anything else because. The guy was pretty good about coming over and getting the people to move, but it was all through the entire ceremony. Yeah. So now we're leaving and we're going down the big escalator. Yeah. And my wife, now we're at the edge. So if you're coming along the wall, you would make an immediate right-hand U-turn to go down the escalator. We're literally touching the metal wall of the escalator, walking up to it. My wife does the little U-turn, goes around. I'm right on her rear end, and I go to get in, and this woman, another foreign woman, slid right in between me and tried to go in. Like, you can't freaking wait. What is wrong with you?
Maybe she thought it was like, in the city where you let one car go and then the other car go and maybe that's what she thought.
I guess. I'm
not trying to defend her.
Maybe. My theory is, in some parts of the world, there are just so many people.
Yes.
It's survival of the fittest.
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily that. I have been in those parts of the world. And one of the things is there are so many of those people. You have to get used to people bumping and touching you all the time, and it's hard.
Yes, it is
because
hard.
There's just
because we're not used to that. We're not used to it.
You go in Japan, you go in the subways. I mean, they are ramming people.
Yeah,
they're pushing them in,
pushing people in. That's exactly what they were doing. So I'm not saying they were Japanese people necessarily, but
you were from a foreign land.
I am telling you, from a foreign land. It's a land of a lot of people.
So did you see Grace actually graduate?
So we did, but in that case, you can only imagine that with some, I don't know how many students, 20,000 students or whatever it is,
God.
the students don't walk the stage.
Oh.
So a representative from each college goes up and gets the diploma for all of the other students. But their college graduated on Tuesday, and that was at Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah.
So we were there for that. And that, they didn't walk either, but they did they went through, I swear to you, 2 hours of names popping up, announcing the name, and it was definitely AI announcing these names. And it would come up for about 5 seconds. You'd get your picture, and then the next name would come up. And that went on for over 2 hours. And to make matters worse, my daughter was third from last.
Oh, nice.
It was a random, not alphabetical order. She was, in fact, we thought they forgot her. But I'm like, how are we going to handle this? I mean, she's just going to be devastated if they forgot her. And they didn't. She was third from last. My God.
Well, that's what happens a lot of these big schools. I mean, imagine schools like Ohio State, Syracuse.
Syracuse as well.
They've got to
Ton of
have
kids.
multi-day
Yeah.
events for specific degrees, because otherwise you'd be in there for.
You would be in there forever.
Yeah.
And each college, and there were like 4 of these events, maybe 5 of the events where each college, along with, they held their own events, and it was really spectacular. Molly Shannon was the speaker.
Yeah.
And I did not know her story, but it's pretty amazing. She's an NYU alum. Formerly of SNL, of course.
Yeah.
She went with the armpit bit, smelling her armpit during the speech, which was kind of funny. And then what did she do? I'm 50. She was doing the kick on the stage.
Yeah.
But her speech was incredible. I did not know that when she was like 5 years old, her mother, father, and sister were in a horrible car accident, and the mother and sister died in the car accident. Oof. So she was raised by her father, who became an alcoholic.
Well,
it is a long story, but it's one of not giving up, and it was really inspiring. Whether you like SNL or not,
right.
Her story
it's a human story.
Was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And so that was that. Pretty wild. And here we are.
On to phase 2.
On to phase 2. Yes, in phase 2 will be, as we said, now it's all on you. What happens here? So we have a bunch to get to. In fact, Ryan Schmelz on right now. Ryan and Davey, did you give me a sheet on it? I'm sure you did, and I don't have it sitting here. But I know we're talking about... Oh, I see. It's right here. House Democrat withdraws. What are these guys doing with this impeachment thing? It hasn't gone anywhere each time, and now they're trying it again. Ryan Schmelz, good morning, and welcome to the radio. Good morning on a Friday.
Good morning. Yeah, interesting, right?
So so it was submitted and then pulled.
Exactly. Yeah. You had one Democrat who issued these articles of impeachment. He had a rally saying that he was still going to go forward with it. But according to Axios, there was a closed-door meeting where Democrats were very hostile towards this, and they were saying this is not the right time. This is very dumb was one of the words that was used in this meeting. And eventually their leadership said that they were going to pretty much whip against this and tell everybody to support a motion to table it, thus killing it. So it never really made it to the floor, and they just it was kind of over before it began.
Wow.
It's like the summer movie season. The sequel keeps coming back. It's impeachment part 6.
The other part of it is, you do not have. I mean, if you had a situation where you had Republicans, and you knew you had a vote here, I guess I can understand. Because you now have his own party that's ready to, but you cannot do this alone if you're Democrats. Nor should it be done that way. Right, Ryan?
Yeah. In many ways, yes. I mean, the votes were never there, and they aren't going to be there. That's the situation that they're in. I mean, Republicans control the House, they can control the Senate, and it's the same goes with reparations. I mean. You can introduce those articles, but it's not going to be.
It's not going anywhere.
Nope. It's going to have the votes this Congress. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess no surprise. Now I'm wondering who makes the phone call to say, "What are you doing?" How in the world could this have been a surprise? I don't see it. What's the reason for introducing it and pulling it back? Is there a strategy?
Well, according to Sri Tenadar, his in his statement that he put out yesterday, he is going to try to add to these articles of impeachment and continue to try to gain some consensus among Democrats and Republicans so that he can, get them on board in order to do this later. So he's going to add the Qatari plane situation to his new articles of impeachment and then go from there.
All right. He's just
trying to make a name for himself.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Where does it all go? All right, Ryan, as always, thank you for the time. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Hey, of course. Have a good one.
All right, thanks. Ryan Schmelz from Fox News Radio. Speaking of the weekend, pretty decent. I mean, it'll be nice today and pretty decent tomorrow, maybe a storm or two. But then we go, oh, boy, what happened?
I know.
It's like 50s and 60s and rain right into Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah. I thought we were done with the monsoon season, but apparently
thought so
it's
too.
come back around.
I thought so as well. All right, Megan does a quick update on the news coming right up. We'll speak with Willie, and there's some big stuff. You have the Bruce Springsteen thing done in Manchester, England, and I heard some people heard from some people over there last night. You also have a couple of really big stories. One about Jesus. And one about, I guess we'd say McCarthyism. They're two really big stories, and we'll get to it coming up in a second with Willie, along with everything else to stream as we head into the weekend on WIBX.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by the new Destination Kia of Utica, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. A Rome man confessed to child pornography in federal court. 82-year-old John Kelly appeared before a United States District Judge in Syracuse to answer to charges of possessing, receiving, and distributing child pornography. Kelly confessed to physically mailing the material to a man in Plattsburgh. Authorities say Kelly and the Plattsburgh man, who pleaded guilty in December, mailed an SD card containing the material between one another beginning in August of 2022 until Kelly's home was searched in April of 2024. Kelly faces between 5 to 20 years in state prison and a fine up to $250,000. He will be sentenced on September 20th. A motorcyclist has died following a crash in Lee. The Oneida County Sheriff's Office said deputies were called to Lee Center Taberg Road around 12:45 yesterday morning for a reported crash and determined 26-year-old David Terry of Lee Center had been speeding on the wet road, which caused him to lose control of his motorcycle. Terry was taken to Rome Hospital, where he was listed in critical condition, but was later flown to SUNY Upstate, where he later succumbed to his injuries sustained from the crash. The state archaeologist is going to investigate the discovery of bones in Glens Falls. Crews were doing construction work on South Street yesterday when they spotted remains that appear to be from an old cemetery and grave site. Records show there was a cemetery at that location until the 1850s before it was moved to Bay Street. Police say there's no evidence to suggest any criminal activity is associated with these bones. And after months of waiting, thrill seekers will finally be able to return to Six Flags Great Escape tomorrow. The Queensbury Amusement Park opens for the 2025 season, meaning folks can get on popular rides such as the Bobcat, Comet, Adirondack Outlaw, and more. This year, there is a new smoking policy in effect which places a ban on smoking throughout the park with the exception of a designated area near the main entrance. For the full schedule and to buy tickets, head to sixflags.com. Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
We'll continue with a shower thunderstorm threat. Could be a stronger storm or two, but we don't see widespread severe weather. Best chance is going to be as we get into the afternoon, so maybe the heart of the afternoon, Friday commute. No fun. 82 today's high. A few showers, thunderstorms early tonight. Partial clouds at 60 overnight. Could be a few showers, thunderstorms tomorrow, midday into the afternoon, up near 80. And some leftover showers, 60. Much cooler Sunday. I'm Ray Stagik at the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM.
All right, listen, it's 61 with partly cloudy skies. I think it's going to be a pretty nice day before it isn't today, if that makes any sense. We're going to warm right up. People saying, listen, there's no picture. You've got the Scrabble board up on the YouTube screen. We're working on it, but what happens when I come back after a couple of days? The cameras don't work, and nothing is working. So we are working on it. At the very least, I should be thankful we are on YouTube, at least the audio and some video is on YouTube. Right, Davey? Quick break. Got a break. Coming up, Willie Waffle on WIBX.
Memorial Day savings are here, and that means time to upgrade for summer. Adirondack Home Furniture is overstocked in every department, so come take advantage of their amazing deals on sofas, dining sets, bedrooms, outdoor poly furniture, and more. Right now, take advantage of their lowest prices of the year on select items, or 4 years, 0% interest financing. Adirondack Home Furniture has a large line of quality USA-made furniture from top manufacturers. Something for every room, any size, inside and out. From modern modern to farmhouse, rustic to transitional, with free local delivery and a professional, knowledgeable staff, you'll have your dream home in no time. Plus, salespeople are non-commissioned, so you'll enjoy a relaxing, no-pressure experience. Celebrate Memorial Day and save big at Adirondack Home Furniture for living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, home office, and patio at their lowest prices of the year. Adirondack Home Furniture, Riverside Center in North Utica, or at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com.
Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company is excited to announce the return of the 24th annual Adirondack Paddle Fest and Gear Expo. This highly anticipated event will return to Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company on Route 28 in Old Forge, May 16th through the 18th. Join us for sales on outdoor gear, clothing, and boats. We'll have food, craft beer, music, kids' activities, and more. Shop over 1,000 canoes, kayaks, and SUPs from the leading manufacturers and hundreds of accessories to choose from. Representatives and vendors will be on hand to help you choose what is best for your paddling needs. Gear up for all your outdoor adventures with discounts on outdoor gear, footwear, and clothing for the whole family. Shop your favorite brands and get great deals this weekend only at Patagonia, Teva, North Face, MSR, and more. Follow Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company on Facebook and Instagram for updates or for all your local outdoor needs.
Don't miss Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event. We're giving you the best deals of the season on all of our inventory. Thousands of used and new equipment in stock, all in one location. Get 0% financing on new Ferris commercial mowers, Massey Ferguson, and New Holland equipment. And trailers and used equipment as low as 5.49%. Restrictions apply. We're giving you the best deals of the season. It's Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
Now through May 31st, get up to $140 back by mail on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Get $70 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires. Get an additional $70 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. See Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com or bridgestonerewards.com for details.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
I didn't realize, but this weekend is the Preakness.
Oh.
If you're into any horse racing. And I think really the big one, the Kentucky Derby is your big chance. We'll see what Scott and Kirkville has to say, but I think Kentucky Derby is your really big chance to walk away because there were so many horses in the race, and it was wet. It just kind of threw it up for anybody to win.
There was 21 horses in the Kentucky Derby. There's only 9
okay.
in the Preakness, and the favorite for the Kentucky Derby skipped this one and is going to be running at Saratoga.
I saw that.
She's already there. They arrived on Monday.
For the Belmont at Saratoga?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be raining.
Yeah, okay.
At Pimlico.
Well, that could throw a monkey wrench in there. Scott is on next hour. Hope Ike's free money question of the day. Got a good one. Okay, there is a ghost restaurant. So we all know what a ghost restaurant is, right? Yeah. So the cool thing about these, they were created really during COVID.
Right.
And it's a restaurant that doesn't have necessarily a physical location, a brick and mortar, but you can get it through DoorDash, you can get it through, and it exists. It's called Sugar Ray's. And they're going to do no ghosting here today. They're going to come in studio, and we're going to get to taste a little of the food. Yes.
We'll work for food. I like this.
We will work for food. That is true. I've got a whole bunch more, including the Syracuse Mets. It'll be interesting to talk with them. What a game. We were there on Wednesday night. Monday night's game was awesome. Tuesday night's game was incredible. Wednesday night, there was just no offense, and it was just terrible.
Let's see what Soto brings this weekend. It's going to be interesting.
That is going to just the reaction of the fans. He is going to get booed something crazy, I would assume. So that'll be really interesting. And then while I was away, we make a Major League Baseball announcement that Pete Rose, and I like your take on this. Pete Rose is, because you do have a different perspective. You're a little older than me, a little bit.
Thank you.
You look younger.
Yeah, thank you.
And so, but you have a different perspective on some of the older players, and Pete Rose. I was in like junior high school or in elementary school when Pete Rose was at his peak. But then came the '80s where he was a player and a manager.
Exactly.
And then all hell broke loose. So, what do you think here?
Well, it's a pretty complex situation. I mean, if you look at it, and if anybody has not had an opportunity to watch the Pete Rose documentary, definitely should.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to watch it. Yeah.
Incredible. He was, bar none, one of the premier players of his era. On the other hand, he was not a likable character off the field.
No.
He had opportunities. Bud Selig, he got really close to being able to.
But he would never admit
he wouldn't.
that he went
into the office, and Selig was expecting him to say,
I bet on my own team.
I bet on my own team.
It was wrong,
and Selig was going to give him the forgiveness or whatever. He didn't do it. So
and then the word never came. But so
and in the end, when you do watch the documentary, in the end, Pete says, I just hope, but I suspect that they're going to wait until I die before they.
Well, of course, his records and all the things that he accomplished are in the hall.
They're there at the hall.
But he, as a player, I would think that a Hall of Fame member has to include more than just statistics.
Right.
And I'll get Willie's take on this too. But at the same time, so I have two ways of looking. I'm back and forth on this.
Yeah.
But your behavior, and by the way, the worst of all things that can be done in Major League Baseball is gambling.
Well,
at the time,
go back to the Black Sox. I mean, they have
Since
to,
then.
and they have to let Shoeless Joe Jackson in if they're going to let in Rose.
I would think,
and
but then you have some of the most horrible people who are in the Baseball Hall of Fame, and so you can go back and forth on this, but it is the one big rule you can't break. And oh, by the way. Everywhere you turn, there's gambling in baseball. Yeah, it's crazy. Willie Waffle, quickly before we get into a whole bunch, what are your thoughts on Pete Rose?
Yeah, I mean, I get the idea that, a lifetime ban means it ends when your life ends. I get that. But I'm with you. I mean, listen, yes, the Hall of Fame has a lot of really bad people in it. You know what none of them did? They didn't break the biggest rule of all time, which is don't bet on baseball. So I don't know. I don't know if it matters anymore. I mean, Pete Rose is already considered a great baseball player. I mean, putting him on a plaque in the Hall of Fame, how does that really change anything?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're depending on how you believe, you may look around and say, well, he's looking down on this, and it's a great day for him in wherever or is he looking up? I don't know.
Yeah.
But there are others who believe dust to dust, and he will never know the joy of going into the Hall of Fame. So,
well, the Rose purist would say it was unfair to him, as opposed to the Black Sox scandal was really bad, because that was a situation where you had a team that was basically being bought off.
Yes.
Okay, to lose the World Series.
The problem is, we know he bet on his team, but he says
he never bet against his team.
Always bet to win.
Yeah.
So interesting.
But here's the flip side to that. Okay, so Pete Rose now gets known among the different bettors and the different bookies that he bets on his team. The day he doesn't bet on his team, he's letting you know something.
No doubt.
That was the big problem.
That's true. Yes.
It wasn't just, I believe in my team. Why is everybody so upset? It was, you are revealing things about your team when you don't bet on them.
Yeah, I completely agree. Quickly, I know it's not on your list, but it's a biggie. The Springsteen in Manchester, England. Springsteen calling Trump a traitor, dangerous for the world, and I forgot what else. A whole bunch of stuff. And now, before we all say, as I said, these rock and rollers ought to just stick to music, for God's sakes, and stay out of politics. Kid Rock got right into it, and the two of them were going back and forth. Kid Rock criticizing him for doing it over in Europe. Your thoughts on that, Willie?
Well, that is a debate that is worthy of the Algonquin Roundtable, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Kid Rock versus no. Listen. You as a citizen have the right to say whatever you want, okay? I mean, I'm a huge Bruce Springsteen fan, but I've also known all my life he is a major, big-time liberal.
Yes.
That is what he believes in. Hey, anybody can believe in what they believe in. See, I'm one of those older people who realizes that we can have differing political views, and that doesn't make us horrible human beings.
Here's the problem. If you're gonna hold everybody to this high standard of don't tell us what your political persuasion is, you won't be able to watch any movies. One of them we're going to talk about. You might be able to. You won't be able to watch any movies. You won't be able to listen to music. I mean, you're going to run out of people to entertain you.
You are, but I think that's a change in the culture now.
It is.
I
agree with you 100% on this.
You almost have to take a stand to fire up this base of fans that you have.
Yeah.
And that blows my mind, because I'm like you. I've always been of the mindset, listen, I have my views, but I'm not going to talk about them because, I'm in broadcasting, which means I want to reach a broad audience.
Correct.
I want to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
But now everything's become so marginalized. Everything is just a small little group, and instead of broadcasting, you're trying to reach that one little group and hyper-serve them and get everything out of them and fire them up and draw everything from one small group rather than a larger group.
Well, in the podcast world is just that too, and there's a ton of money being made in that world. I think what makes it very interesting and appealing, and not dangerous, is Trump won by less than a point. I mean, it might have been a point in terms of the popular vote. So you basically have half of America, and where all those people are today, maybe some have gone to Trump, maybe some have gone away, but basically half of America is against Springsteen, but the other half, which is a lot of people, they're with him. So I almost feel like the risk isn't that great anymore.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, things have been split like this for a long time. I mean, everybody talks about recently. I think the split goes all the way back to like '92. I mean, when you look at kind of, that's when things started to fracture. When Perot jumped in, and you, for a long time, you didn't have anybody who won the presidency with more than 50% of the vote for a long time.
Well, you can even say, go back to Nixon is when we became cynical about our politics, right? And everything changed. Bill Clinton just put a big old stamp on that in the 80s or 90s, I guess, right? Okay, here's another one. Let's go to the conservative side and religion, and Mel Gibson is back with part 2, but I believe there's a spoiler alert here.
Yeah, this just came out late yesterday. Lionsgate Films announced that they are partnering with Mel Gibson to make The Resurrection of the Christ. This is going to be the biggest sequel you have ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, this is big. I think people forget Passion of the Christ for a long time. I think up until like last year was the highest box office return for an R-rated movie on the domestic side.
Ever.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
It was huge.
So it was massive. It was a very, very good movie. I mean, here's another one. Talk about Pete Rose. Talk about Mel Gibson. Here's a guy that maybe ain't that great of a guy. He said some pretty horrible things.
Yes, he has.
Pretty horrible things.
Mm-hmm.
But man, he's a good movie maker. I mean, Passion of the Christ was a fantastic movie, and the idea that he's going to get the band back together and he's going to do Resurrection of the Christ, I think there's a lot of anticipation there and a lot of hope that he'll deliver as well. Now, we don't have any word on if Jim Caviezel's going to come back as Jesus. We don't have any word on when they think they're going to release it. We don't know when they think they're going to make it. So there's still a lot up in the air. You're probably a few years away from actually seeing this.
But they have a film company now. Yeah, Lionsgate is in.
Yeah, but they're they're doing it. They're doing it.
Well, that is going to be, and really the time, if they only had it done and could release it right now, I think it would be a really good time to release it.
That's what I said yesterday.
It would perfect.
That's what I said yesterday. Yeah, they should have just let them make it in quiet, and then just one day go, okay, it's coming out at Easter. Have fun.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I really think that. I think they should have done that. I completely agree.
And how deep he goes into this, if you remember the first movie, it is not a let's whip this thing out there. This is going to be epic. This is going to take them some time.
It is, and I think Gibson, if I remember correctly, Gibson put a lot of his own money into the first movie.
Yeah.
So I suspect he'll put a lot of his money into the second movie. I think the big question for me, and maybe I'm thinking a little too politically again. Mel Gibson is one of President Trump's envoys in Hollywood to encourage more domestic filmmaking and more filmmaking in Hollywood. Will there be pressure on Gibson to make the whole thing in L.A. somehow?
I bet there will be. Very interesting. Considering it all didn't happen in L.A. in the first place, you might want to, right? Okay.
I don't remember the palm trees or the Hollywood sign in the Bible.
And then one more political nugget here for you, and it's this, and its tickets are expensive for George Clooney's play, which is coming to a close, I believe, right in New York City. But they're going to make this. They're going to go one step further with this McCarthyism play.
Yeah, so this is George Clooney's Good Night and Good Luck, which is him portraying Edward R. Murrow fighting against Senator Joe McCarthy. This was his movie he made back in 2005. The Broadway run has been a limited run, but maybe one of the most successful that Broadway has seen. He's been breaking box office records every single week. Well, it's coming to a close. It comes to a close on June 8th. On June 7th, CNN is going to bring cameras into the Winter Garden Theater, and they are going to broadcast that night's performance of the play.
Live.
Yeah. Live. And this is not like what you've seen other television stations do, where, they get a sound stage and there's no crowd. No. This is going to be a broadcast of the actual show with the people who got tickets that night.
Yeah.
And so I think that's going to be really interesting. It's kind of exciting. I mean, I don't think it's been done ever, let alone recently. So I think that's going to be interesting. What I'm a little disappointed with, though, is that CNN's going to try to politicize it.
Oh, no doubt.
They're going to have this whole special about broadcast how journalism fights evil and journalism stands up for that, all that stuff that they failed to do for a long time. But anyways, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be the night before the Tonys, June 7th.
And I do think George Clooney is in on it's part of his agenda as well. This is not just coincidental that this play is running right now.
No. Well, I mean, coincidental in the sense that he really needed the money, and that worked out well for him. Although he doesn't really need the money when I think about it. He actually has done very well. I mean, he wanted the money, I think, is a good way to put it.
All right, what else? Anything else? We've got Davey. Can I go to the top? Can we? Thank you. What else do you have there, Willie?
Well, how about HBO Max is back? After being called Max for a while, they've brought back the HBO, and some people are saying this could lead to Warner Brothers Discovery maybe breaking up parts of the company into separate companies or breaking up the streaming into separate streams, and that's why they want to identify it again with HBO.
Interesting, and my guess is there'll be a different app from the HBO. I don't know what happens.
Well, what happened because I've been a subscriber since day one, so it was the HBO Max app, which kind of wasn't all that great, and then when it became Max, it just uploaded on my phone by itself. I clicked on the HBO Max app, and it was like, "Hey, we're Max now."
Yeah.
So I suspect the same thing will happen with the return back to HBO.
All right. Anything else people should be maybe trying out on? Have you seen Hacks? We were just talking about that before the break. I like
I
it.
have not seen. I've heard it's really, really good.
It is.
You know what I checked out? I'll be honest with you. The stuff that came out this week all stinks. We don't have to. We could talk about some of that stuff if you want. But I checked out on Netflix the Vince Vaughn movie Nanas, which came out last week, kind of like in celebration of Mother's Day. A nice kind of fun kind of family movie.
Yeah.
A guy who loses his mother and decides to open up an Italian restaurant, hiring actual grandmothers with their old home recipes to
people
make
are talking
it feel like
about
a family
it. Yeah.
place. Yeah.
What do you give that? I've got 10 seconds.
I was like at 2.5 waffles. I thought it was pretty solid.
Worth watching. Yeah. So, all right, really some breaking news, and you're on the scene, Willie. We appreciate it. Thank you. We'll talk again next week.
I talk to you next week about Mission Impossible.
Okay, that'll be big. Willie Waffle. All right, coming up next, we have news, top of the hour.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome.
W295EI.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
More big business deals for the U.S. I'm Sue Guzman, Fox News. President Trump meeting with business leaders in the United Arab Emirates this morning, where the UAE agreed to partner to build the largest artificial intelligence campus outside the U.S. Fox Business Network's Edward Lawrence has more on the economic deals that the president has been making on this Mideast trip.
President Trump is racking up historic pledges for one overseas trip. He's got a number of CEOs that are trailing him behind, trying to capitalize on the committed amounts of money from Saudi Arabia and Qatar and see what happens in the United Arab Emirates. Now, the Saudis have agreed to put $600 billion in investments into the United States, while the Crown Prince says he's working on a deal to double that. In Qatar, the addition to the U.S. government being gifted a more modern Boeing 747, the president secured $243 billion in investments. Now, big corporate winners in this latest leg in Qatar, Boeing and GE Aerospace, which inked deals with Qatar Airways.
New Jersey Transit's train engineers going on strikes this morning after negotiations for a new contract with a wage increase failed. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy says he'll do what it takes to get both sides back to the bargaining table.
Our door is wide open. It was never closed, and it is not closed as I stand here. We are willing to sit, to talk, negotiate at literally a moment's notice.
New Jersey Transit is the third largest transit system in the U.S. and provides almost 350,000 trips every weekday. And the nation's largest retailer says it plans to raise prices to counter higher costs from President Donald Trump's tariffs. Walmart making the announcement on Thursday. Says it has been forced to counter the higher costs from the tariffs despite strong quarterly sales. America's listening to Fox News.
You've likely heard about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too, with their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. An easy, affordable way to see how it could literally change your life. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally, developed by doctors. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. Trying it couldn't be easier with their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. And it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, every day you feel better is a day you live better. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Former FBI Director James Comey is being investigated over a social media post that he made Thursday. More from Fox's Chanley Painter.
Immense backlash for James Comey after posting a picture of seashells spelling out the number 8647, writing, quote, "cool shell formation on my beach walk." Well, the number 86 is commonly used as slang to mean getting rid of something or ejecting someone, and Trump, of course, is the 47th president of the United States. White House officials immediately calling out the post as, quote, a hit on the sitting president. DHS and the FBI both confirming the Secret Service is investigating this alleged threat.
Comey later took the post down following the backlash, saying he assumed the message was political but didn't realize that it was violent. People in Juneau and Mayville, Wisconsin being asked to shelter in place as crews work to clean up damage and restore power from last night's severe storm.
Pretty much the whole entire north side of this town is blocked off by first responders. The good news, there are no reports of any major injuries here. One person was hospitalized and there are some minor injuries. A lot of homes were damaged and power could be out for 1 to 2 days. There are a lot of downed trees and power lines in this area. The sheriff's stressing if you don't have to come here, stay away. They have to do some cleanup here.
And that's Ashley Sears with Fox 6 Milwaukee. A Wisconsin judge accused of helping a man evade ICE agents has pleaded not guilty to federal charges. Prosecutors charging Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Anna Dugan with obstruction and concealing an individual to prevent arrest. Dugan claims she has the right to control her courtroom and who is in it. And Ford is recalling near than 247,000 of its Expedition and Lincoln Navigator SUVs because of an issue that could cause a loss of brake function while driving. Recall involves Expeditions and Navigators between 2022 and 2024. I'm Sue Guzman. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. 63 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is next. New Hartford police are cracking down on retail theft by conducting special operations to strengthen cooperation between businesses to identify and apprehend shoplifting suspects. One of those operations, with the assistance of surveillance equipment at targeted stores, was on Wednesday, and authorities arrested a Utica man, saying he attempted to steal a bicycle from the Sangertown Mall Target. Police say 52-year-old Daniel Smith, a repeat offender, had an active warrant for a count of petty larceny and criminal possession of a controlled substance. Smith faces an additional petty larceny charge in addition to his bench warrant charges. A Rome man was arrested on felony burglary charges. According to the Oneida County Sheriff's Office, the Road Patrol Division was called to an Ansville residence on March 17th to investigate reports of 2 suspicious males and a female loading multiple reels of copper-clad steel wire into a trailer. Deputies said they recovered a reel that was left behind. A few hours later, a similar call of theft of copper wire came in from Chris Tech Wire in Ansville. The investigation was turned over to the Criminal Investigation Unit, and authorities arrested 45-year-old Gregory Wishart Jr., charging him with criminal possession of stolen property in the 4th degree, which is a Class E felony. He was issued an appearance ticket and is due back in Ansville Town Court at a later date. 4 members of the West Hill High School boys lacrosse team appeared in front of a judge. Yesterday, those students, all 18 and older, were in Onondaga Town Court to be arraigned on an unlawful imprisonment charge. Those 4 individuals, as well as 7 other younger players, are accused of abducting and hazing a teammate last month. The cases of the younger players are being handled by the probation department and family court. There's yet another sign of major financial trouble at the struggling Destiny USA Mall. Fitch Ratings is now reaffirming its low rating on nearly $250 million in bonds on the shopping center. The mall's occupancy rate has slipped to 72%, meaning over a quarter of its retail space is empty. That's down 80% just 2 years ago. Or down from 80%. Fitch believes the mall's financial situation will worsen due to the loss of those tenants and higher operating expenses. And doctors have used gene editing to fix a baby's rare and life-threatening genetic condition for the first time. Doctors at the Children's Hospital in Philadelphia and the University of Pennsylvania treated the child who was born with a liver mutation that increased his risk of brain damage and death. With gene editing, they were able to at least partially reverse his condition and hopefully give him a new lease on life. The case was described Thursday in the New England Journal of Medicine. Your WIBX News Time, 7:08. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
A line of strong storms to our west, heading east and through the Finger Lakes, weakening as it approaches this morning, but still a few showers, thunder showers around. Could potentially get a stronger severe storm, especially toward the west. Then partly sunny and more shower storms this afternoon, 82. Scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow. Potential for at least an isolated strong or severe storm. Tonight near 60, tomorrow up near 80. Showers Sunday, much cooler near 60. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
63 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Let's take a look at sports. Broadcasting from the IBEW 43 local sports desk, Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets forced a Game 7 in their second straight series. The Nuggets knocked off the Oklahoma City Thunder 119-107 in Game 6 in Denver. Jokic finished just shy of a triple-double with 29 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists. The two teams will square off in a winner-go-home Game 7 on Sunday in Oklahoma City. The winner advances to face the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. The playoff action continues Friday with the New York Knicks playing host to the defending champs Boston Celtics in Game 6 at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks lead the best-of-7 series 3-2. The Hurricanes, they're going to the conference finals. The Canes took down the Capitals in Game 5 of their best-of-7 second-round series. Carolina will face either the Panthers or Maple Leafs in the Eastern Conference Finals. Florida up 3-2. They host Toronto for Game 6 on Friday. The Jets staved off elimination after shutting out the Stars in Game 6. Dallas leads the series 3-2, and they host Game 6 Saturday night. The Oilers have already clinched a spot in the Western Conference Finals. The NFL says a future Hall of Fame quarterback is not the reason for coincidental scheduling. League executive Mike North told the media on Thursday that Aaron Rodgers potentially signing with the Steelers was not a consideration when scheduling a Week 1 clash between Pittsburgh and the Jets. The league claims to have no inside info on free agent Rodgers, who played for New York last year. The Giants made some recent changes to their staff. Assistant coach Angela Baker is no longer listed on the team's website on the coaching page. She was hired in 2022 as a minority coaching fellow and offensive quality control coach. Tyson Bean has been added to the team site as a scouting assistant. A couple local games and teams renew their rivalry tonight. The Yankees hosting the Mets for the first of 3 games in the Subway Series. The Bronx Bombers are currently leading the AL East, while the Mets are sitting atop the NL East. And Jonathan Vegas is sitting atop the leaderboard after the first round of the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte. Vegas shot a 7-under 64 in the opening round of the tournament. Ryan Gerard and Cam Davis are tied for second at 5 under par. Jordan Spieth, who is looking to complete the career Grand Slam, is tied for 125th at 5 over par. Keith Mitchell, Adam Hadwin, and Bob Sowards will be among the first group of players teeing off for round 2. Your WIBX news time is 7:11, 63 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
All right, coming up, we'll talk with Scott in Kirkville regarding the Preakness this weekend, which is tomorrow, and, of course, the Subway Series. I think a lot of people wondering maybe some opportunity. Will this, and Wayne asking this morning, will this be a slugfest or a pitcher's duel? I got you now.
Slugfest.
You think it's going to be? Yeah. And who wins out? Will it be Judge? Will it be Soto? Will it be, it could be a host of others.
Soto's got to break. Soto's got to start earning his pay.
Well, he does. Although leading into
Alonso be loving him.
He has done great for Alonso. Although the bat has started to come alive. He had 2 home runs again the other night in one game, and but apparently so much that they had to rest him on Wednesday. I did not understand that. All right, hold tight. We'll speak with Scott in Kirkville coming up next to WIBX.
Celebrate AmeriQ Credit Union's 75th anniversary with an extra 0.75% off your auto and rec loans. Apply today at ameriq.org/loan sale.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually in fact true. How would you like up to $2,000 of free windows? When I say $2,000 of free windows, I mean $2,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $2,000 to get $2,000 free. You just get $2,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of the restrictions are income-based. And you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
Now through May 31st, get up to $160 back by mail on a Firestone prepaid MasterCard. Get up to $80 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Get up to an additional $80 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. See Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com or firestonerewards.com for details.
It's hard to know what to do when you lose a loved one. You need someone you can trust to help you navigate all the options. Mohawk Valley Monuments has been providing comfort and delivering quality memorials in our community for over 95 years. Mohawk Valley Monuments has experience with all the local cemeteries, from simple grave markings to intricate family mausoleums. For personalized service, call us today at 315-724-7629 or visit us at mohawkvalleymonuments.com.
When it comes to the ones we love, their comfort and dignity matter most. That is why Hospice and Palliative Care is here for you. When you want your loved ones' wishes to be honored, when you want them to be comfortable, safe, and secure, and when you want them to be wherever they call home, Hospice and Palliative Care is the right choice. Our team of professional doctors, nurses, social workers, and bereavement counselors are dedicated to providing compassionate care every step of the way. At Hospice, your loved one is not alone, and neither are you. We are just a phone call away, ready to support you through this journey. Choose Hospice and Palliative Care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison County for the comfort and dignity your loved ones deserve. For more information, visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call us today at 315-735-6484. Hospice and Palliative Care, Middle Settlement Road, New Hartford, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and Eastern Madison counties.
When you need us most.
It's Brian Kilmeade.
But I believe that Putin has totally misunderstood Donald Trump being patient.
It looks like Vladimir Putin wants to make Trump look bad. Trump has taken political risks by going out of his way to say, I just want to be an arbiter to bring peace, knowing that most people know that the enemy and the villain is clearly Vladimir Putin. I think the president knows it, but it doesn't do any good for him to keep bringing it up.
Brian Kilmeade, weekday mornings at 9 on WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, let me go to Scott in Kirkville on the line right now. Scott, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Let's hope maybe producer Dave can, come up with the old Bobby Seeger rambling gambling guy for my promo.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
By the way, first of all, the big fuzzy shut out there. You got some listeners from Syracuse actually in the area. It's got some representatives from Colonial Laundromat that just got done, and Utica put in a system that gives you the option of using coin or credit card. So they're in there. So hello, Colonial. They're in the area now listening. They're Syracuse, New York.
There are many Colonial laundromats in the area, no doubt about it.
Exactly. So they're going to be trying to change over and stuff. But do you know?
It finally happened. I've been trying to get it to play. It wouldn't play.
Do you know that the mayor's going to be listening today, Utica?
I did not know that. Sometimes he does tune in. So.
Well, I had some. I'm not producer Dave, and by the way, the Babes was a great place to go eat.
Yes.
I met producer Dave a couple weeks ago.
Jeff Stone and the group over there, they do a great job.
Had a suggestion about the roads, how they compensate for the roads, and I thought maybe, and it's an irony thing, take all the cannabis taxes you get from cannabis and actually fill the potholes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nice job.
Oh, somehow that wasn't a rim shot. That's a lightning strike on you. Oh, boy. Maybe that was the mayor. I don't know.
Now, the potholes are so big, I saw a pool guy putting in a diving board at one end of these potholes.
Okay,
so
all right. Well, they're pretty big.
Then I was down there, getting my hair cut at Jane the Barber in Ilion.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of saw those kind of roads, and I happened to see a sign coming off 5S for the Ilion exit.
Yes.
And the sign says, "Welcome to Ilion, where the rubber meets the potholes." So
where the rubber meets the potholes. Oh, we're back to the lightning strike.
Oh yeah, I like that.
They're having a whole. I think they're in Ilion. The water is going to be shut off today in various spots. They used to do a thing years ago. They would clean out the lines. So when I was in the 80s, when I was working at WLFH in Little Falls, they would come on and we'd have a recording, and they'd be like, "Today we'll be washing out the lines on Otsego Street, up 2nd Avenue, covering 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Avenue. If there's any cloudiness in your water, run it for a good couple of days, and you're going to be in just fine shape." Now they're doing that because they're changing the valves, apparently.
Also, I'm having trouble getting a 6-year car loan because the Green New Deal that AOC tried to get in there says there's only 5 more years before the world ends. So,
okay,
give me a 6-year loan, and good luck for people trying to get a 30-year mortgage on to go by AOC's time schedule. So good luck.
Yeah.
But that's why she was going to come and inspect your green room, make sure there wasn't any plastic straws in your green room.
Okay.
Oh, crickets! Oh, lighting the crickets! Oh man! Oh.
All right, I want to ask you, Scott, humor man extraordinaire. Listen, I do want to ask you your thoughts on the Mets Yankees. A lot of people are going to be watching that this weekend.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you got Soto coming back, and of course Judge. It's an interesting era. Because I'm not a Barry Bonds fan, but you might see 2 pitches a week to hit. If you've even seen the Oakland, or I can't call them Oakland, the Athletic Series because they're playing in Sacramento. Yeah. There's pitches when you hit 2 home runs right down the middle.
Right.
And you see this all the time. It's like, why are you pitching to a guy and there's nobody hitting behind you?
Right.
And it's a different area because, I mean, there were fastballs too. I mean, if you're throwing curveballs in the dirt and he hits it, God love you. But it's a different area. So it's interesting. I'm surprised it's this early. I thought
there'll be 2. There will be 2. Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do find it's interesting the week before, and I don't think it's going to be nice in New York. I think it's going to be chilly and a bit rainy. So.
Exactly.
But 25 years ago, the Mets and Yankees go at it in the Subway World Series, and the Mets get clobbered by the Yankees going down in 4 games, and so here we are again with the Subway Series. The Mets are leading the National League. The Yankees are leading the American League. And oh, by the way, sitting there, I got a soda yesterday at Yankee Stadium, and
$2 or 24.
I don't know because it was all electronic. I didn't even check the receipt.
You'll find out.
Yeah, I'll find out. Anyway, what do you think the cup that I received? It was a souvenir 2000 Yankees win the World Series. Subway Series. I would call it a memorial cup.
Yeah.
But little collector's item.
I stand corrected. That cup of soda cost you $32.
Yeah, probably did. Yeah, probably did.
The interesting part is that year. You remember there was a rain out and they played a doubleheader where an afternoon game was actually at I guess it was Citi Field.
That would be Shea at that point, I think. Yeah.
And then they took a bus ride to Yankee Stadium to play the night game, and that's when Clemens actually tattooed Piazza, if you remember.
Yeah.
And so I think that was the same year. I think 2000.
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. So, all right, the Preakness. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first of all, there's 9 horses, so you go from 9 to 20. Producer Dave and I shared the trifecta. The trifecta for the Derby was easy, and it paid for every 50 cents, 115. But the only 2 horses that were going to be journalism in the Derby was the 2 horses. One finished first, of course, Serenity, and then Piazza, which was a draw-in, finished third. And it's one of those unique horses where the horse should have been in anyway. Journalism is surprising because he is showing up. He was the favorite in the Derby. He's the best horse as far as how fast this horse has run in the previous races. And he almost it's the shortest race, so it was a mile and 3/16. He would have won the Derby. The only two horses I think that can beat, that's number 2, by the way, number 2 horse, Journalism. There's a horse called 8 Clever Again. Steve Asmussen doesn't just send horses just to run in races. There's a lightly raced horse that just wasn't ready for the Derby, and that's the second fastest horse in the race.
Okay.
That has a shot to beat Journalism. And other interesting things, that's number 8 horse. Number 6 is a Todd Fletcher trained horse that qualified for the Derby, decided to skip it for the Preakness. Now, Todd Fletcher doesn't send horses usually to the Preakness because he's a New York guy, and usually if the horse doesn't win the Derby, he just waits for the Belmont with his horse.
Yeah.
So he thinks he can win that race, number 6. There's a horse coming out of Saudi Arabia that qualified for the Derby that skipped it, and that's number 4, Hearts of Honor. And then Bob Baffert's got the one horse that ran the same day as the Derby, Journalism, in the mud, and won that race as an undercard. So I know he can run in the mud.
Okay.
It looks like it's going to be muddy.
It's going to be wet. There's a lot of rain all over the country. It's terrible.
I wonder if that horse flew over an Air Force One.
That's interesting.
That's right. They brought him back.
And flew back in a really luxurious plane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, it was a beautiful plane and a beautiful horse. You're right.
All right. Okay, so if you could give someone a bet, what would it be? What would you tell them to, and how would you do it?
Well, the safest bet, obviously, if Journalism doesn't finish in the top 3, then this is all about breeding. Coolmore bought the breeding rights before the San Diego Derby, but and Coolmore spends, if he doesn't win this race or finish in the top 3, he probably is going to be kicked out of the breeding shed. He's probably sleeping on the hay couch.
Oh, okay.
So that horse, if you mind just go first, second, and third, and you put less money to win, more money on the place, and a lot more on the show. If he doesn't, the Journalism that's in the top 3, then he's wasting his time. I think, if he won the Kentucky Derby, I think the goal was to win the Triple Crown. He would still show up because he lost the Derby, and there's no reason to run in the Preakness, but he's running.
Okay.
For an easy 50-cent trifecta, and if you like Journalism a lot, then you put him on top. And basically, you can go, if you want to get rid of the 9 horse and the 5 horse, you can put 7 horses, the same 7 in the second and the third hole. It's not going to cost you that much. What I'm doing is I'm keying the 2 horse first, second, and third in my try, just like when we won the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
And when I put them in the second hole, the only 2 horses I'm going to put the win over the 2 is going to be the 8, the 6, and the 1, and then I'm going to put 7 horses in the third hole, and that's not going to cost you much because, I said, I think Journalism's going to win. You just don't want to invest a lot of money into it,
right?
Because it's not going to be like the Derby where, like I said, for 50 cents, I thought it kind of paid low, but for 50 cents you got, and it's the best 3 horses in the Derby.
Yeah,
you still got $115 back.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good.
Wow. So that's what I look at. But this horse here, I saw. Before it got really notarized, and I think I talked to producer Dave about it because I called him up. I said, "This is my dirty horse."
Yeah.
2 months ago, Journalism, and I think what the problem was, he ran hard. If you saw the San Diego Derby and you saw the San Felipe, he ran down a $3 million Bob Baffert horse, which normally doesn't happen, and he had the worst trip and still won. He looked to me a little tired.
Yeah.
And that's my concern about Journalism. Is that I think that they took a long time to decide to go with this horse, but I think they saw who they're running against. And I think they thought the B-plus Journalism can beat these guys. But the horse is going to go off.
Yeah, all right.
God, even money. But that's why
you always said the Kentucky Derby because there's so many horses in that race.
There's so many horses.
You have a chance to really win. People can win big. So, all right.
And like I said, there was the top 3 horses. In fact. I had a couple of people at Vernon Downs, and they asked me, give me 3 horses in the try, and basically those are the 3 horses I gave them.
Mm-hmm.
And so for actually 50 cents, you could have got 115. If you boxed the 4 horses, it would cost you for 50 cents $12.
Right.
So,
okay.
But Journalism, if he doesn't finish in the top first, second, and third, then it was a big waste of time for sending him to Baltimore.
Good stuff. Let's see what comes tomorrow. That goes off at 6:40?
Yeah, 6:40, 6:45, and then
7:01.
Oh, sorry, 7:01. 7:01.
Well, there goes happy hour because I think happy hour ends at 7. So
probably does.
That's the reason why.
All right, win a lot of money this weekend, Scott.
just remember, Belmont is still at Saratoga this year, the 7th or the 8th, whoever that Saturday is, and Sovereignty's already committed the winner of the Derby, and Baez has finished in the 3rd. And someone tells me if journalism wins this race, he might show up too. So
yeah,
it should be a good race coming up in 3 weeks.
All right, Scott. We appreciate it, man. Thank you, and we'll talk again soon. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much, Scott in Kirkville. From the jokes to the picks.
Yeah. How about that Sovereignty guy? The jockey got fined for whipping his horse too much.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he hit him two times too many. I'm shocked.
I didn't realize
that
there
has
was
never
a
happened
limit on that before.
I think
Yeah.
there's like 6. You could hit him 6 times.
All right. Let me tell you about, if I could, River Hills Properties, the fastest growing, continuing to be the fastest growing real estate company in Central New York. And now they really have you covered along the entire East Coast. Check this out. River Hills has added some new offices. They now have offices in Barneville, Little Falls, to the north in Copenhagen, of course in Utica, Newport, and that's Mark Butler, the home of
Yes.
the mayor of Newport, and the amazing Gulf Coast of Florida. Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island, some of the most beautiful places you'll find, and River Hills has you covered. They know this market. They know that market. You could downsize here and buy something really amazing down there. It's a real opportunity. And Robin Monjo and Bill Monjo have invested in an office down there and in people. There are several agents. It's really River Hills South, if you will. Yeah. And it's pretty awesome.
Or you could sell down there and buy up in Newport.
You could buy in Newport. That is true. So, with Chobani coming,
absolutely,
maybe there's some people that are going to need to come up here and get a good job. There's going to be some opportunities there. And the company to call is River Hills Properties. They go the extra mile to take care of you, everything from the book to they never use that lockbox. You get personal service every time. And let me tell you, it's competitive down there. You want to know you got the right real estate agent to cover you. And Robin and those at River Hills Properties do have you covered. Nobody sells homes like River Hills. 7:31, Megan has news coming up.
Mattress Express is proud to announce we have added Simmons Beauty Rest Black, Serta Eye Comfort, and Avocado, the big online brand, to our lineup in all of our stores. Go to mattressexpressny.com or call 1-800-NEW-BED.
Hi folks, this is Rob Hilton. Your family is your greatest treasure. Is your estate plan ready to protect them when it matters most? At Hilton Estate and Elder Law, we understand the importance of getting it right. That's why we offer a free review of your current plan. Together, we'll assess it and provide honest feedback to ensure it truly works. No cost, no obligation, just confidence and peace of mind. Let's prepare for the future together. Schedule a free review today.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law.
Celebrate AmeriQ Credit Union's 75th anniversary with an extra 0.75% off your auto and rec loans. Apply today at ameriq.org/loan sale.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture. The man accused of killing a Utica elementary school principal appeared in court yesterday. The attorney for 45-year-old Jeremy Kirch, who faces murder charges, requested more time to respond to motions relating to the case. Judge Robert Bauer adjourned the case for next week, setting a new date for May 23rd. Kirch is accused of strangling 50-year-old Elizabeth Gerling to death last August. The two were reportedly in a relationship. Gerling's body was discovered on August 20th, the same day Kirch was taken into custody after being apprehended for running around naked in Rome. New Hartford police are cracking down on retail theft by conducting special operations to strengthen cooperation between businesses to identify and apprehend shoplifting suspects. One of those operations, with the assistance of surveillance equipment at targeted stores, was Wednesday, and authorities arrested a Utica man saying he attempted to steal a bicycle from the Sangertown Mall Target. Police say 52-year-old Daniel Smith is a repeat offender with an active warrant for a count of petty larceny and criminal possession of a controlled substance. Smith faces an additional petty larceny charge in addition to his bench warrant charges. Sunday is International Museum Day, and Forest Hill Cemetery is putting together a free scavenger hunt in celebration. But there is a suggested donation of $5. The event takes place between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Sunday. Participants will go on self-guided scavenger hunts and learn about the famous individuals who helped create the cemetery, with prizes given out to the first 100 finishers. Forest Hill Cemetery in Utica, which turns 175 this year, is dubbed Utica's Outdoor Museum due to its history and the number of famous individuals buried there. A copy of the Magna Carta that's been sitting in a Harvard library for 80 years turns out to be one of the originals from 1300. The New York Times says the faded parchment was purchased by Harvard for about $27 in 1946, and it received little attention until about 2 years ago. That's when two British professors stumbled upon it by accident while looking through the school's digital archives. After some high-tech authenticating, they discovered it was one of the 7 original copies of the Magna Carta from over 700 years ago and could be worth millions of dollars. Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
A line of strong storms to our west, heading east and through the Finger Lakes, weakening as it approaches this morning, but still a few showers, thunder showers around. Could potentially get a stronger severe storm, especially toward the west. Then partly sunny and more shower storms this afternoon, 82. Scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow. Potential for at least an isolated strong or severe storm. Tonight near 60, tomorrow up near 80. Showers Sunday, much cooler near 60. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
All right, we have some clouds right now and 65 degrees. And it is time for Habaika's free money question of the day. And Davey, what do you want to go with here this morning, here on this Friday?
First of all, I just want to say thank you to all the people that I booked for this week being so cordially with me since I took over.
Right, you had to rebook everybody.
And I want to reach out and say everybody was so graceful, and I appreciate it.
Okay.
What a guy.
That is really nice, Davey.
Yeah.
That's good. Now let's see
$200.
They're not coming back.
How grateful they're going to be if what are you saying? $200?
$200.
Okay, and I have a great question today. $200. We'll take caller number.
Caller number 5.
Fifth caller right now at 315-736-0186. We'll do that, and then this really cool ghost restaurant. We'll explain. Opened up in Rome, but it really doesn't even matter that it's in Rome, right? We'll explain coming up with the owner in studio on WIBX.
At Steve Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer, we proudly salute those who serve. Right now, military members, active, reserve, or retired, can receive an additional $750 rebate as our way of saying thank you. Looking for a powerful new Chevy truck? Check out the 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT 4-wheel drive. Now with 0.9% financing for 60 months, plus a whopping $6,750 in total rebates. Or explore our huge selection of Car Bravo certified pre-owned vehicles with financing as low as 4.99% for up to 72 months. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, together, let's drive to Steve Pawnee Chevrolet in Herkimer, where it's always easy to do business. With approved top-tier credit through GM Financial, Silverado offer requires 2011 or newer trade-in and 2011 or newer Chevrolet in household. Must be active, reserve, or retired military. Taxes and fees due at delivery. Offers end May 31st. See dealer for complete details.
Not everyone who handles your personal information is as careful as you are, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the United States. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock will monitor hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. And if your identity's stolen, a U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com. LifeLock. For the threats you can't control, terms apply.
Now through May 31st, get up to $140 back by mail on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Get $70 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires. Get an additional $70 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. See Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com or bridgestonerewards.com for details.
in the morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
And it's time for Hobica's free money question of the day. It is your chance to win from the Hobica Law Firm. Joseph and Andrew Hobica at 315-724-1600 for all of your legal needs. The Hobica Law Firm. 315-724-1600 is the number. On the line right now is, let's see here, I got to get all of this right, is Andrew in Utica, driving on the road, ready to take a shot at Hobica's free money question of the day. Andrew, good morning.
Good morning. When I heard Tim read, I thought you were still doing best of. Because I swore that I thought Tim swore he would never co-host again.
Well, somebody decided.
Don't look at those old texts, Andrew.
Somebody decided to take off, Andrew. You are the free money question. You no longer work here. I think it's legal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's completely legal.
I think so. And there's nothing more. I would love nothing more than take some money from Hobica.
Yeah.
You know how good I was at answering the questions when you asked them before and with no 7-second limit, so I've probably got no chance.
What I know, you would every once in a while steal the answer away, and I'd be like, what the heck did you just do? I got to pick another question now. So I do get that.
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready? You'll have 7 seconds, as you know, to answer the question. No longer employed here, Andrew Dominio.
Good morning. I'm ready.
Okay, here we go with your question. Pete Rose scored from third base by plowing over the American League catcher in the 1970 All-Star Game. Who was the catcher? Ready, go.
Catfish Hunter.
Catfish Hunter. You know what? He said, I'm getting sick of pitching, and I am going to start catching. The answer...
the pitcher. I wasn't listening.
So Pete Rose scored from third base by plowing over the American League catcher in the 1970 All-Star Game. Who was the catcher? And this is 1970, so this goes back.
Yep.
This is early in Pete Rose's incredible career. The answer, Tim actually knows this story really well.
Ray Fosse.
Ray Fosse, who was
Cleveland Indians,
who was a rookie, right at the time.
Yes, he was. He was he was a phenom till after he met Mr. Rose,
and injured and never was quite the same.
Never was the same.
Yeah. Well, Andrew, we can give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card at Babes and Taylor and the Cook and Aquavino, Cookies, Q and Creamery, The Odd, Nexus. You're all set with that, all right?
Throw them in a couple CDs.
I love that, and it's not coincidence that I'm calling on the morning of the big matchup, the first Subway Series of the year.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I know that you guys are going to want to win a game this year because last year the Yankees didn't win any games.
We did not
against the Mets.
We did not.
This is going to be a little different.
I was just telling Davey.
Yeah, I think this
the pitching is awful.
The Mets starting pitching has been phenomenal. Even with Clay Holmes the other night, did not pitch a bad game. It's just the Mets had zero offense. But you're going to have this new drama between Soto and everybody else in that stadium. It is going to be. I cannot wait for this game tonight. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, the booze. The booze will be abundant, I feel.
Andrew's the worst fan. If they don't win every single game,
God.
The Yankees are terrible.
It's the one
we
thing.
Lost a game.
It is the one thing I don't miss about you at all. My God. It was
crybaby.
6 o'clock sports. It would just go on and on. I'm going to start managing this team.
I'll leave everybody with one complaint. Leave it to Brian Cashman and the crew to get Devin Williams as a closer when we have a perfectly good one in Luke Weaver, and then the guy has a 15 ERA and blows every game he goes in and pitches. And that's my complaint of the day.
Well, I do want to say that you didn't win the $200, but congratulations. You get the all-in-one food and fun card, plus a guest spot as a guest host next week. Congratulations.
Well, actually, I may still be here next week, so give me a call.
All right, Davey.
I was thinking about you, buddy, when Devin Williams blew that game a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, which one? Yeah, which one? Because there was a few.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, okay.
Against the Oakland A's.
Yeah, you guys would have been going on and on forever.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Andrew, we'll talk soon. Thank you, and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. Love you all.
All right, feel the same way. Andrew Dominio, and that was a good question, Tim.
That was a good question.
Now, here's one for you. I think this might have been, maybe it was regular season. I thought it was a playoff game between, I won't tell you who. Which shortstop did Pete Rose punch in the face in the 1970, I think it was the 73 playoffs in the National League?
Catfish Hunter.
Good guess. That was legendary shortstop Buddy Harrelson.
Buddy Harrelson, yeah.
Hawk
Harrelson.
Who was much smaller than Pete Rose.
Yep.
All right, in studio right now is Ray. Do I call you, is it Ray or Raymond?
Either one's fine.
Okay, I'm going to go with Ray, and especially because the name of your business is Sugar Rays.
Yes, sir.
And talk about what you, first of all, the ghost restaurant. Explain what that means. Not everybody knows what that is.
So basically, it's like a kind of a restaurant inside of a restaurant. So I rent out DeCastro's catering hall. It's called DeCastro's 2. And inside of that is my food that I prepare and I cook and my business. So they're being gracious enough to rent me the building and let me occupy the space. We're open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 9, takeout and delivery only.
Nice. And then you add this, which is really only, am I correct in saying it's only available on like a DoorDash and that sort of thing?
So you can call. There's a number to call.
For Sugar Rays.
For Sugar Rays.
Yeah.
And you can order online through my website. Currently, I'm not on DoorDash.
Got it. Okay. And you can do pickup?
Yep.
Do you do delivery?
Yeah, I offer
you
delivery through
as well.
DoorDash. So that's kind of where the confusion is.
I
You order
see,
on
okay.
my website, and I contact DoorDash for deliveries.
One of the wonderful things about DoorDash is they deliver for you. One of the wonderful things about DoorDash for DoorDash is the fees are high.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it ends up, in some cases, high all the way around. It dissuades the customer sometimes.
Yes.
And you guys get hit pretty hard, too.
Yeah, that's why my menu isn't on DoorDash,
Okay.
because I would have to increase the prices to compensate for their charges.
Got it. All right. So go over the menu at Sugar Rays and the phone number and all that, how people would take advantage.
So I offer original pita sandwiches. I do burgers, Phillies, chicken cutlets. I do some salads, like the one I brought for you today is an apple walnut salad. So it's spring mix with Honeycrisp apples, walnuts, cranberries, and marinated chicken with a raspberry balsamic dressing.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make everything in house. I cut my own fries. I make my own chips. I I bread my own tenders. I do everything in house.
And what is the website?
It doesn't have a pretty URL. The best way to do it is just if you Google Sugar Rays, and you click the website link or click the phone link right there.
Okay.
And on the website, it has hours of operation, the business address, the phone number, everything.
Can you push the mic to your dad, Bill?
Yeah.
Bill Howard, Magic Bill. Anything you want to add? Because you look like a very proud father right now.
Yeah, I am. Everything's top quality.
Yeah.
The food is fresh the bread is fresh from furloughs every day. The meat's fresh from Mazzaferro's every day. Like you said, he makes his own chips.
Yeah.
Just high quality food.
And you're looking for something different. I think a lot of people are looking for something different. So
nothing but good words from everybody that's tried it. So.
Do you deliver
smells amazing.
Do you deliver the bread? No. Okay. There was a while where you were doing some bread deliveries out there. All right, Ray. Anything else you want people to know? And you brought in a whole bunch of food here. That's just awesome.
No, just if anybody wants to give me a shot, you can go order online. You can give us a call. We're open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 9.
And that phone number is
315-225-7637.
My experience has always been with chefs. They love coming on the radio.
Yeah.
Not true. Most are like scared to death of TV and radio. So you did a great job.
Hey, thank you, sir. Yeah,
And-
usually we're in the back of the house,
Yeah,
away
they're
from
behind the
everybody.
door.
Yeah.
Yes. I often find that whenever you have like a dinner party or something, the person who does the cooking gets to kind of remove themselves from all of the conversation and all of the. You can get into it anytime you want, but you can kind of step away because you have to. Right? Otherwise, you're not getting any food. I would say, Bill, this food is magic. That's how I will tie it in for you. All right. Good stuff. All right. Look for it. It's called Sugar Rays. And we'll break quickly, and a bunch more to get to here on this Friday morning, heading into a weekend, finally. Although I've been off all week, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
At WIBX.
The Memorial Day sale is on at Mattress Express. No one in New York State has all the brands we have. Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh and Lavish. And now we have added Simmons Beauty Rest Black, Serta, and Avocado. Hurry.
Ferris commercial mowers set the bar with racing-inspired patented full suspension and integrated cutting decks so you can go faster, cut better, and not get beat up. Ferris Experience Suspension. Take advantage of the best financing and prices of the year. Visit us at whitesfarmsupply.com.
We're the power in power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome.
W295EI.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
All right, sorry. Davey, I know I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. It is what I do. Good morning. Back here on a Friday morning, and we talk about heading into the weekend because we're looking at some... Thank you, Bill. Good seeing you, man. We're looking at... What do you want me to do? What do you want? What you're telling me to take a time out?
I don't know what you were saying to me because I was on the phone.
I see. I already did. And then the ID played. So apparently I hit it one too many times.
Oh, just go up to the top then.
I will do that. Let me tell you about the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills, accepting new patients. And if you're in need of a new family doctor, or maybe there's something that you are that is ailing you, and you're looking for an answer, and you're not getting it from your current physician, and you want to, or maybe a second opinion. I would not do anything without a second opinion, especially if it's a serious issue, right?
Absolutely.
You want a second opinion on your car. You should get a second opinion on your body and your health. Reach out to the Falcon Clinic today. Accepting patients. You can schedule an appointment, and even can go in like I do as well. For it's a monthly adjustment.
Tune-up.
It is like a tune-up. It really is, and they work. It's an osteopathic approach. This, of course, is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic. And if you're having issues, everything from sinus to migraine headaches, back pain, shoulder pain, leg pain, whatever it might be, you could take advantage of this with the Falcon Clinic. It lasts about 35 minutes, and you feel like $1 million when you leave.
Yeah.
Call them today, accepting new patients. 315-507-4751. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills. Can you look around that corner? You know what's starting to happen? People in the building.
Oh, yeah. I can see them circling around. They're like birds.
Food.
They're like birds. There they are.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Boy,
Seagulls are flying around.
I want to know, because for my mom for Mother's Day and for my wife, and I don't think she was overly happy with it, but I think she is now. I got her the bird feeder.
Oh, yeah.
With a camera.
Oh, you gotta love it.
So
I got it as a birthday present.
Give me a little. So my guess is you might want to shut off the alert.
Yes.
Because that could drive you nuts.
It will drive you nuts.
And the birds can be very loud.
Yes. Yeah, you can have the sound off.
Explain how it works.
So my specific one, it's solar powered, so you don't have to worry about
this is solar powered too,
whatever it is. And so right now mine is a squirrel feeder. We're gonna deal with this.
There
issue.
is apparently an alarm on it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You scare the squirrels away.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my one thing of
I'm thinking
happiness.
about maybe a grease pole or something that might stop the squirrels.
I've got right now I've got a wood pole which is not working because they can just
they're going right up it.
Yeah. And don't believe any of this stuff that cayenne pepper, the sprays work. They'll fight right through that.
So I was speaking with my mom about this, who hooked this thing right up and had birds immediately. And she said it is incredible how you can scare the squirrels away. The squirrels, are, once the food's all gone, they are nowhere to be found.
Yep.
But you can fill a bird feeder, and out of nowhere, I don't know if they must smell the scent in the air, but you all of a sudden, within just a couple of minutes, you have squirrels trying to get at it. Yeah.
So I'm going to go with either a PVC or a copper pipe.
Okay.
To put it on where they can't dig their claws in.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It takes a picture of it.
Yep. It tells you what it is.
Tells you what kind of bird it is.
Yeah.
That's pretty
now,
cool.
the squirrel will say, "Oh, there's a pet wandering by."
Yeah.
Well, I haven't got squirrels as pets, so as soon as I see that, I know the squirrels are in there.
I know. They are there. All right, some other stuff too. By the way, do you know how much on Amazon?
No, it was
like $100, I think.
Yeah, it was a birthday present.
Yeah, I think it's like $100. Yours probably was $400 or $500.
Yeah, Andrew said something awful to do with the squirrels, and I'm not going to.
I know. Listen.
I'm not. Take them to the train station, say in Yellowstone.
There's a lot of things that can be done to prevent those squirrels.
Yep.
A homeowner in L.A. found a naked intruder in their home. Oh, boy. He was supposedly on drugs and did a bunch of bizarre things around the house. Here's the homeowner, Michael Duarte, talking about this amazing break-in. Here's audio.
As I stuck the key in, I could see the entire kitchen had been ransacked. Completely naked, sleeping in my bed. He was yelling to me and my friend and also the officers, "I'm going to kill you, I'm going to effing kill you." He ate a box of ice cream sandwiches. He ate Dole Whip, a whole box of Beyond Beef burgers. He stuck in the microwave, cooked them, and then ate them. And then spit a big wad of gum the size of a softball, like on my kitchen table.
You wonder. I mean, wouldn't you want to try to leave without anyone knowing who you are?
I think his brain is in a different place.
Without leaving any DNA?
Yeah. No.
A woman claims she never has to pay for chicken because she goes home and weighs the chicken after buying it. And if the weight is off, which she says happens often, she complains and gets reimbursed. Here's how she does it.
The net weight is 1.45 pounds. That means that without the packaging, that's how much meat should be in here when I go to measure it. Food scale, you need one of these. So after you zero it out with the plate, 1.38 pounds, and the net weight, 1.45. So for this particular one, it's only 1/10 of a pound off. I would not call on this one because that's close enough.
Yeah.
But that's just how you do it to check the weight and make sure you're getting your money's worth. But had it not been the correct weight, this is Purdue. They've been asking for pictures of it in the packaging and then pictures of it on the scale.
And boom, you get your free chicken.
I don't know. As soon as you're opening up the packaging, I think you...
Isn't God watching you, for God's
Exactly.
sakes? Okay, so we would go to the Syracuse football games back in the 80s, and a group of guys, and there was one who was a manager at a local, manager at a local auto dealership. And after every game, we would stop to Popeye's chicken.
Yeah.
And he would go in and say he knew the manager's name. So he would say, "Listen, last time I was in, I talked to Bob about this. We had a huge order and over at the dealership, and nothing was right. Everything got screwed up." And he said, "You'd take care of us on the house." Now remember, this is always a Saturday, right? You're going to an SU football game.
Yeah.
And we would get a ton of free chicken at Popeyes.
And he'd pull it more than once?
He would do it. If he went in there and didn't recognize the guy behind the counter, he would do it again. And it was almost like every time there was a different manager in there. And I don't think anybody ever questioned it.
Some people have no shame.
And all the luck, if you will.
Yeah.
Let's see. 5 men say the male owner of a massage parlor tried to give them yeah. Well, listen, you didn't know what that place was.
Well,
yes, it may have been a surprise, but he thought you were there for other reasons. Today is National Barbecue Day. I didn't even know what that story was until I read it. Today is National Barbecue Day, and you can celebrate with having a bit of a barbecue on a fairly nice day. Might get a storm or two. Today is also National Mimosa Day.
Oh.
So if you, you mix a little orange juice, or sometimes they'll do other kinds of juice and have a different version of a mimosa with a little champagne. And you've got your mimosa.
It feels like every day there's alcohol in some way, shape, or manner kind of works its way in. A lot of the days.
It does. On my show?
No,
Absolutely.
well, that too.
On this program?
You need to drink to listen to this show, but whatever.
Actor Joe Don Baker, do you remember him?
Oh, Walking Tall?
Real life Sheriff Buford.
Buford Pusser.
In the box office hit Walking Tall, died on May 7th. His family just announced it this week. He was 89 years old. Even though he did other roles, including 3 James Bond movies, he told an interviewer what people always remember him for on television. There it is.
Well, it's Walking Tall, and it astounds me that people still remember it. I mean, I can understand it because Buford was such a wonderful person. He was a hell of a character.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
And he's got that perfect voice for something like that, right? And then one more. There's word Tommy Lee and Brittany Furlan, Furlan, is his girlfriend. They have now split up. They are separated, and it's over.
Oh,
it's over.
I can't believe it.
What is the reason? His drinking, apparently. He's got a real Tommy Lee drinking problem.
He has no problem drinking.
It's over, she says. All right, we have news coming up and a bunch to get to here next hour. So stand by. It's First News Keeler in the morning. WIBX Utica, Rome. It's 8 o'clock.
Heading home. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. President Trump's on his way back to the U.S. after a 3-nation Middle East trip ending in the United Arab Emirates. He says on Air Force One, he'll meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin as soon as he can about ending the war with Ukraine.
He and I will meet. I think we'll solve it, or maybe not, but at least we'll know. And if we don't solve it, it'll be very interesting.
Low-level Ukraine peace talks are happening today in Turkey. The president also says Iran's been given a nuclear deal proposal to consider. The Secret Service is investigating former FBI Director James Comey over a social media post with a photo of seashells he saw on the beach, forming the numbers 8647, taken to mean 86, get rid of, 47, the 47th president, Donald Trump. Homeland Security Secretary Tulsi Gabbard on Fox says Comey prosecuted mobsters and gangsters.
People who know and execute other humans and use this exact lingo of 86.
Comey deleted the post and says it never occurred to him that it could be associated with violence. A Supreme Court decision is expected by late June or early July, near the end of the term, whether lower courts have the right to block President Trump's order ending birthright citizenship.
Justice Samuel Alito questioned the wisdom of nationwide injunctions.
And the practical problem is that there are 680 district court judges, and they are dedicated and they are scholarly, and I'm not impugning their motives in any way, but sometimes they're wrong.
Justice Elena Kagan asked the U.S. Solicitor General, if nationwide injunctions aren't the way to go, what is?
Does every single person that is affected by this EO have to bring their own suit?
Justice Thomas noted the increasing use of such injunctions, discovering they hadn't even been used until the 1960s. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
An audit in Maryland finds at least 36 deaths in police custody should have been classified as homicides. It looked at the 17 years when Dr. David Fowler was the state's chief medical examiner. America's listening to Fox News.
You've likely heard about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too, with their 3-week quick start for just $19.95. An easy, affordable way to see how it could literally change your life. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally, developed by doctors. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. Trying it couldn't be easier with their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. And it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, every day you feel better is a day you live better. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Their homes and businesses destroyed by tornadoes in southeastern Wisconsin. Bridget Kuehl hid in her basement in Mayville.
You felt like you were in a funnel cloud, and I
I'm like, oh crap. My husband's like, what? And I'm like, I literally feel like the house is like almost lifted up off the ground.
260,000 homes and businesses are without power in Michigan due to storms. The man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students was back in court for a final pretrial hearing.
After numerous hearings and motions filed, Brian Koberger's trial in the killings of 4 University of Idaho students is set, with the prosecution and defense being made clear on evidence, witnesses, and jury instructions. Judge Stephen Hippler also saying if Koberger is found guilty of murder, that the penalty phase will begin immediately.
It's either life without parole or death.
Koberger's pled not guilty in the deadly knife attacks of Madison Mogan, Kaylee Goncalves, Ethan Chapin, and Zaina Kernodle in an off-campus house in Moscow in 2022. His trial, that's expected to last months, begins in August. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Utah Supreme Court orders a new trial for a man on death row.
The court ruling that numerous constitutional violations surround the conviction of 69-year-old Douglas Stewart Carter, found guilty in 1985 of murdering the aunt of a former Utah police chief. No physical evidence linked him to the crime scene, but Carter, who is black, wrote a confession. And 2 witnesses testified he bragged about killing the white woman. Carter, who will remain in prison pending his retrial, claims his confession was coerced. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Sports. Denver beats Oklahoma to force a deciding Game 7 in their NBA Western Conference semifinal series. Carolina advances to the NHL Eastern Conference Final, beating Washington 3-1 in Game 5. Jonathan Vegas is a 2-stroke lead after round 1 of the PGA Championship. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News.
WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica. Commercial Drive, Yorkville. 67 degrees and cloudy outside. Your full WIBX Weather Center forecast is next. A Cazenovia man who worked as a financial advisor was arraigned in federal court in Syracuse over charges of wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. 40-year-old Dean Dallas is accused of stealing over $640,000 from his clients between June 2021 and November 2023. Prosecutors say Dallas had his clients sign paperwork authorizing him to take excessive advisor fees, as well as granting him the authority to trade and withdraw on their accounts. After arraignment, Dallas was scheduled to appear in court at a later date. Spotted lanternflies are expected to take over New York by the end of the month. After a population dip in 2022 and 2023, scientists believe the red and tan winged bugs with black spots will be back in larger numbers this year. Scientists tell the New York Post the insects appear to have boom and bust cycles because they eat their main food source, called the Tree of Heaven, one year and have nothing to eat the next. The New York Department of Environmental Conservation says people should stop the spread immediately, squishing the invasive species. Sunday is International Museum Day, and Forest Hill Cemetery is putting together a free scavenger hunt in celebration, but there is a suggested donation of $5. The event takes place in Utica between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Sunday. Participants go on a self-guided scavenger hunt and learn about the famous individuals who helped create the cemetery, with prizes given to the first 100 finishers. Forest Hill Cemetery, which turns 175 this year, is dubbed Utica's Outdoor Museum due to its history and the number of famous individuals buried there. And men are twice as likely to die from what is called broken heart syndrome compared to women. New research out at the University of Arizona looked at what's officially called Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, a condition brought on by extreme stress or emotional distress. It could lead to shortness of breath, heart palpitations, and other cardiovascular symptoms. After looking over 4 years of data, researchers found the condition was fatal for men 11% of the time, compared with around 5% for women. The reasons for the discrepancy aren't fully understood. Researchers suggested it might be related to hormonal differences. Your WIBX news time is 8:07. Here is your Weather Center forecast.
A line of strong storms to our west, heading east and through the Finger Lakes, weakening as it approaches this morning, but still a few showers, thunder showers around. Could potentially get a stronger severe storm, especially toward the west. Then partly sunny and more shower storms this afternoon, 82. Scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow. Potential for at least an isolated strong or severe storm. Tonight near 60, tomorrow up near 80. Showers Sunday, much cooler near 60. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
67 degrees and cloudy outside. Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by the IBEW 43 local sports desk. Nikola Jokic at the Denver Nuggets have forced a Game 7 in their second straight series. The Nuggets knocked off the Oklahoma City Thunder 119-107 in Game 6. Jokic finished just shy of a triple-double with 29 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists. The two teams will square off in a win-or-go-home Game 7 this Sunday. The winner advances to face the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals. The playoff action continues Friday with the Knicks playing host to the defending champions, the Celtics, in Game 6 at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks lead the best-of-7 series 3-2. The Hurricanes are going to the conference finals. The Canes took down the Capitals in Game 5 of their best-of-7 second-round series. Carolina faces either the Panthers or Maple Leafs in the Eastern Conference Finals. Florida up 3-2 and hosts Toronto for Game 6 today. The Jets staved off elimination after shutting out the Stars in Game 6 from Winnipeg. Dallas leads the series 3-2 and hosts Game 6 Saturday night. The Oilers, they already clinched a spot in the Western Conference Finals. The NFL says a future Hall of Fame quarterback is not the reason for coincidental scheduling. League executive Mike North told the media yesterday that Aaron Rodgers potentially signing with the Steelers was not a consideration when scheduling a Week 1 clash between Pittsburgh and the Jets. The league claims to have no inside info on free agent Rodgers, who played for New York last year. The Giants, they made some recent changes to their staff. Assistant coach Angela Baker is no longer listed on the team's website on the coaching page. She was hired in 2022 as a minority coaching fellow and offensive quality control coach. Tyson Bean has been added to the team's site as a scouting assistant. A couple local teams renew their rivalry tonight. The Yankees, they're hosting the Mets for the first of 3 games in the Subway Series. The Bronx Bombers, they currently lead the AL East, while the Mets sit atop the NL East. And Jonathan Vegas is sitting atop the leaderboard after the first round of the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow Club in Charlotte. Vegas shot a 7-under 64 in the opening round of the tournament. Ryan Gerard and Cam Davis are tied for second at 5 under par. Jordan Spieth, who is looking to complete the career Grand Slam, is tied for 125th at 5 over par. Keith Mitchell, Adam Hadwin, and Bob Sowards will be among the first group of players teeing off on round 2. Your WIBX News Time, 8:11, 67 degrees and cloudy. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
And it will be interesting to watch the Preakness tomorrow. And that is about a 6:40 start. No, Davey, you said 7:02. I don't want him to yell at me. 7:02? 7:02. 7:02. All right, coming up, what's going on in the area? A whole huge summer is ready to get underway as the unofficial start of summer is next weekend, Memorial Day weekend, believe it or not.
I wouldn't yell at you.
You would never.
Okay.
We'll speak with Sarah Foster Calero, president of Oneida County Tourism, coming up at WIBX.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
Don't miss Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event.
we're giving you the best deals of the season on all of our inventory. Thousands of used and new equipment in stock, all in one location. Get 0% financing on new Ferris commercial mowers, Massey Ferguson, and New Holland equipment, and trailers and used equipment as low as 5.49%. Restrictions apply. We're giving you the best deals of the season. It's Clinton Tractor's spring sales event.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Hi, this is Ray Durso of the Genesis Group. If you're interested in keeping up with events and news in the Mohawk Valley region, I have the show for you. It's called This Week in the Mohawk Valley, and it airs every Sunday on WIBX. Join us as we talk with area business leaders, elected officials, law enforcement, educators, and more. Don't miss This Week in the Mohawk Valley every Sunday at 9 a.m. on WIBX 950 a.m. 92.3 FM.
This is Keeler in the morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Welcome, Saturday Sunday.
Well, we've got a good day today and a good day tomorrow for the most part.
Every day's a good day, Bill.
Maybe a little rain and cooler on Sunday. Significantly cooler, by the way. Going to
they're
really
saying frost up north.
About 60 and maybe some frost up north. Yeah. Crazy. Listen, you can check out the website, herkimercountyny.gov. If you're looking for events that are happening in Herkimer County, you can simply go to that website. You can submit an event if you may have something. And, of course, you can see all of what's going on this weekend, like the Central Adirondack Art Exhibition that's happening. That would be today. Started yesterday, continues through today. This weekend, Paddle Fest Pike Fishing Tournament happening up in Old Forge. They have the Paddle Fest Outdoor Gear Expo in coordination with all that happening in Old Forge.
Wonderful.
So there's so much to do. Yeah. And maybe even tonight you go to trivia night at Heel Path Brewing Company in Frankfort.
Yeah.
They have a great trivia night that starts at 7 p.m.
It's happening in Herkimer County, but you know what? It's also happening in Oneida County.
It is.
That's what I've heard.
And we'll get to that awkward transition coming right up. That was good.
It was good, wasn't it? I liked that.
Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah.
In Sarah's Flooring Outlet, hardwood blowout with savings of 50% off. And Sarah's has too much hardwood in their showroom, and it all has to go during the hardwood blowout. It's going on right now. Now through the end of the month. If you've been imagining how beautiful, like we did, we had hardwoods put in from Sarah's. They did such a tremendous job. It really increases the value of the home, and it just looks so much better. And especially if you have allergies, hardwoods are always, I feel, always better. Your timing is perfect for this. Get 50% off Premier Hallmark Alta Vista Oak Hardwood, just $3.25 a square foot. Another incredible deal is on Mohawk Radiant Oakwood hardwood flooring. Only $3 a square foot, which is 50% savings during the hardwood blowout at Sarah's. The incomparable beauty of white oak hardwood at 50% off, only $2.75 a square foot. If it's hardwood, it's in Sarah's Flooring. They have the incredible inventory, stuff that you don't see in other places.
It's all happening at Sarah's.
I
say that all the time.
At Sarah's. With that said, Tim,
yes,
we're going to speak with Sarah Foster Calero, president of Oneida County Tourism, where
it's all happening in Oneida County.
Yeah, I've heard that. I have heard that. Pull that mic nice and.
I'm very familiar. I was on the tourism board.
You
were
many
years ago. Yes.
Isn't it amazing though when you look at it now?
Oh,
do you feel like there's so much more tourism happening?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's so much more. Sarah,
because of the savvy leadership.
I believe it. We'll find out about that next Tuesday, by the way, at the county executives state of the county. Sarah, good morning. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, I know you guys have put out a new travel guide that just recently came out. A lot of promotions, a lot of things happening, much around the Erie Canal.
Yeah, a ton around the Erie Canal. I actually brought a copy with me so
Nice.
you could see it and I can reference it. But yeah, it's a huge year for the Erie Canal, the bicentennial. And we were very aware of this from the state. You know, they've been doing a ton of promotions around it, but we feel that in Oneida County, we're lucky that it comes through our county at so many different points. There's Marcy, of course, but the bigger ones, we have Sylvan Beach, Rome, and Utica. So we really thought, like, we loved our travel guide cover last year. It was the artwork that we used for this IIHF poster. And it's sort of like, man, how do you compete with that?
Yeah.
And we're talking internally, and we were like, what if we run a photo contest for the Erie Canal and see what we can find, you know, what people are taking within the county? And then someone on the team was like, what if we actually use one of those photos if they're good enough for the cover? And I feel that we got, you know, an
really
amazing
cool.
one. It's like showing the working canal. It has the barge on it. But within the guide itself, we have a 4-page spread dedicated to it. We used another one of those gorgeous photos. And then we worked with a volunteer over at the History Center. She wrote an article. So our tagline this year is "Come for the Canal, Stay for the History." So she kind of did like an ode to history in Oneida County. Yeah, and then I mean, there's just so much more new content in it this year that I'm excited
I like
about.
that we've gone back to calling it the Erie Canal. For
As
a while,
opposed to the barge canal.
Yeah,
that doesn't.
Actually, somebody called it the barge canal recently, and there was someone else in the conversation that said no. It's not the barge canal.
No, call it the Erie Canal.
It's the Erie Canal, because that's what it is.
It is.
That's the history.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's just so much centered around it this year.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. I mean, if you guys want to talk about this right now, but in October, the Seneca Chief will be departing from the Buffalo Maritime Center. So it's almost like it's a replica boat from the first boat that went on the canal. And the World Canal Conference is happening in Buffalo, which is huge for our state anyway. That'll be bringing in tons of people internationally and from across the country. And it'll be stopping in the 3 places I said before, Sylvan Beach, then Rome, then Utica. It's like approximately October 7th. And then we're working with the city of Rome to host a really big event October 11th, which is that Saturday. It'll be at Bellamy Harbor Park. But yeah, I feel like I've been learning a lot about it. And then I was even at the History Center the other day for the telethon, and they had some exhibits and different pieces of history, all types of random ones, like even agriculture, but it all related to the canal.
And the importance of the canal, I mean, really became the gateway to the west.
Exactly.
And it connected that western part of the state to the ocean. I mean, it really is incredible.
I know. No, I mean, I feel fascinated whenever I think about that. I'm like, people built this 200 years ago, and it was just they had so much different like types of things to build it during that time. So
well, and if you come across like where I grew up, at the end of the dirt road, we called it the dirt road. At the end of that road, there was a farmer's field, and in that field was an old cemetery, and it was almost everyone who had passed away while building the Erie Canal.
Yeah. Oh,
it was really incredible.
Yeah.
There's a great book called Wedding of the Waters, which was the building of the Erie Canal. And one of the reasons why the Erie Canal was built was George Washington, when the nation had first been created, was very concerned that what was going to happen was that the western part of the United States would break away from the eastern part of the United States.
Yeah.
So he thought, the only way we can do this is by basically connecting ourselves with what was the fastest form of transportation back then to create commerce. When you create commerce, then you create all those sorts of things.
Right.
They tried using the rivers, didn't work. Went to Europe, figured out how they did their canal systems, and kind of the rest is history.
Yeah, it changed. Really changed.
It changed everything.
It did. Oh my gosh, yeah, so much more connectivity.
Cordelia, is that? It's not. We lost Cordelia. Feel free to call back, Cordelia. This is Cordelia. This is Tom in Utica. Hi, Tom. You're on. And you're on with Sarah Foster Calero, president of Oneida County Tourism. Yeah.
What a wonderful job you have. It's you definitely have a wonderful product here with Oneida County. And I'd just like to make mention that the genius behind the Erie Canal, of course, was the Grand Master of Masons and the Grand Master of Knights Templar of New York, DeWitt Clinton. And we just celebrated the 200th anniversary of our commandery here, and we're going to be making some events along with this new upcoming celebration. So let's stay in touch. We'll exchange emails and make sure that this Masonic involvement, and Utica especially, having Clinton be our founder, we'll work along with you however we can.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds
great.
amazing.
He's a longtime photographer as well. So, all right, Tom, thanks.
Sure thing.
Okay. And here is Cordelia. Here she is. Good morning, Cordelia. You're on. Good morning.
Good morning. Talking about Erie Canal, Courtyard Charlie's in Rome was probably one of the first stops they had in Rome when it was rebuilt way back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can remember when the whole road there was just a lot when I was a little girl.
Right.
Yeah, and then they made the road, and back in around 1966, around that area, and it had a snowstorm, and one of the guys down near us had the first snowmobile, so we had our skis, so he towed us up to the top, and we skied all the way down the courtyard.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
And you're going to have to get in touch with also Cordelia, who has a wealth of history.
Oh my gosh,
in
I
her
would.
noggin.
Anyone who can talk about that history. I mean, I think I'm personally learning more. I've been in this job for a while, but now I'm like, I'm really intrigued by the history of our region.
Yeah.
So anyone we can connect with, I'd love to.
All right, Cordelia, thank you.
And another thing, I was interested in the birdhouse. Where did you get that?
Amazon. It's on Amazon. If you do like birdhouse camera, it comes up. It's about $99, something like that.
Oh, they sound like fun.
Yeah,
that's great.
Okay. All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
I hope it amuses my wife, but I don't know.
Because you don't.
I don't. I clearly don't. Okay. What else do you? By the way, where can you get this?
Right at our welcome center. So we were talking right before. We're at Union Station. We are typically there 7 days a week. We will not be open this weekend, but we'll be back to normal 7-day-a-week operation next week.
Will there be a welcome center as people get off the thruway again?
No.
Okay, that's gone. I realize it's gone.
No one's stopping there anymore.
No, but that is
Flying
eventually
through.
supposed to go away. But the main welcome center is Union Station. We're kitty corner to Amtrak, or I would say even diagonal from the DMV. But we have Shondell over there, and if it's just a person who wants to go in, you can not only get the travel guide, but you can get tons of information, brochures.
And what a walkthrough if you've not been to the train station in a while. I mean, it's just beautiful. And Severance, watching it on film in the series,
and being
Severance,
like, I know that place.
It was
I've
so
been there.
cool. Yeah.
Yep. But people can stop in there, and then other businesses, they can reach out to Shondell. She can hook them up with shipping or drop offs.
All right, big summer coming up.
A lot of summer. And I feel like, again, we're talking a lot of stuff with the canal, but as we talk about this travel guide, we have a couple new pieces in it. And one is just all these events that we know about that are happening. Some are the signature annual Woodsman Field Days, Boonville Oneida County Fair, Remsen Festival of the Arts, but we also have ones that are kind of one-offs. So Gabby from our team had just reached out to a bunch of partners to be like, what events do you have coming up? So I think this is a phenomenal reference.
Yeah.
And we always take this to the Boilermaker, and people are like, oh, I've lived here my whole life. That's okay. I promise you're going to find something new. You're going to learn about a new business, find about a new event. So pick it up and use it.
You think you know everything there is to know, and then you find some really cool.
The only time you go is when you bring somebody from out of town.
Yes.
Well, that's it. That's typically what inspires people to, and that's actually what we say to use this book for. We're like, if you have family or friends visiting and you're like, what should we do this weekend? Reference this. Like, it'll be...
All right, very good. Let's do this again soon, Sarah.
I know. Thank you guys so much.
And who knows what the state of the county is next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
what Passetti might drop.
You never know during that address what he drops.
I don't know. He could have. I was at the Rome Chamber annual meeting yesterday morning, and he was the keynote speaker. And I feel like he sort of alluded to maybe talking about more, but I know Chobani will definitely be a big point of conversation, which is
and
super
it's funny
exciting.
because we have history, but we have things like Chobani, like the Oneida Indian Nation, that are creating new history.
Exactly. I
Which really, really cool. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's
No,
do
I
it.
was going to say, just if people want more information, oneidacountytourism.com, and then visit Oneida County on social media.
Love it. Sarah Foster Calero, thank you. We'll do it again soon. Stand by. Megan has an update on news coming right up.
Now through May 31st, get up to $160 back by mail on a Firestone prepaid MasterCard. Get up to $80 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Get up to an additional $80 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. See Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com or firestonerewards.com for details.
Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company is excited to announce the return of the 24th annual Adirondack Paddle Fest and Gear Expo. This highly anticipated event will return to Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company on Route 28 in Old Forge, May 16th through the 18th. Join us for sales on outdoor gear, clothing, and boats. We'll have food, craft beer, music, kids' activities, and more. Shop over 1,000 canoes, kayaks, and SUPs from the leading manufacturers and hundreds of accessories to choose from. Representatives and vendors will be on hand to help you choose what is best for your paddling needs. Gear up for all your outdoor adventures with discounts on outdoor gear, footwear, and clothing for the whole family. Shop your favorite brands and get great deals this weekend only at Patagonia, Teva, North Face, MSR, and more. Follow Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company on Facebook and Instagram for updates or for all your local outdoor needs.
Mattress Express is proud to announce we have added Simmons Beauty Rest Black, Serta Eye Comfort, and Avocado, the big online brand, to our lineup in all of our stores. Go to mattressexpressny.com or call 1-800-NEW-BED.
Celebrate Amerique Credit Union's 75th anniversary with an extra 0.75% off your auto and rec loans. Apply today at amerique.org/loan sale.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by the new Destination Kia of Utica, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. 2 corrections officers charged in the death of inmate Messiah Nantwi had their day in court yesterday, but only one showed up. The attorney for Nicholas Vitale, who is facing conspiracy charges, requested additional time to consider a plea offer and review discovery material. He is due back in court on June 12th. Meanwhile, the attorney of Michael Effert also requested extra time, and his case was postponed to next week, where he will make a decision on his plea offer. Effert is charged with offering a false instrument for filing. A Rome man was arrested on felony burglary charges. According to the Oneida County Sheriff's Office, the Road Patrol Division was called to an Ansville residence on March 17th to investigate reports of 2 suspicious males and a female loading multiple reels of copper-clad steel wire into a trailer. Deputies said they recovered a reel that was left behind. A few hours later, a similar call for theft of copper wire came from Chris Tech Wire in Ansville. The investigation was turned over to the Criminal Investigation Unit, and authorities arrested 45-year-old Gregory Wishart Jr., charging him with criminal possession of stolen property in the 4th degree, which is a Class E felony. He was issued an appearance ticket and is due back in Ansville Town Court at a later date. Ilion residents are advised to prepare for water shutoffs today as new water valves are installed in the village. The area that will have their water shut off today will be West Montgomery Street from Barringer Road to Shull Street. Shutoffs could expand to other streets for valve repairs. Water shutoffs will pause for the weekend and resume Monday through Wednesday. Monday's impacted roads include Shull Street from West Main Street to West Montgomery Street and West Prospect Street from Barringer Road to Bridge Street and Division Street. A full list of shutoffs is on the Village of Ilion's Facebook page. And Egypt says it has recovered a collection of ancient Egyptian artifacts that had been smuggled into the U.S. The items were returned in Cairo Monday after a 3-year effort between the 2 countries. The artifacts included gilded coffin lids, gold masks, and jewelry. There's no word on how the artifacts got into the U.S., where they were found in New York City. Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
A line of strong storms to our west, heading east and through the Finger Lakes, weakening as it approaches this morning, but still a few showers, thunder showers around. Could potentially get a stronger severe storm, especially toward the west. Then partly sunny and more shower storms this afternoon, 82. Scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow. Potential for at least an isolated strong or severe storm. Tonight near 60, tomorrow up near 80. Showers Sunday, much cooler near 60. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX, 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Hey, Tim Reed is in here this morning. Tim,
Here we are.
Good morning. By the way, we are at 68 degrees and some cloudy skies that we're dealing with here this morning. Tim is guest host in this morning. And on the line right now, and actually they were on SNY, Syracuse. The Syracuse Mets were on SNY last night.
Yes.
And Mike Tricarico, did I say that right?
Yeah. I wanted to call it Mike Tirico, but
that's what when I see it, I always
I
stumble there. But it's clearly different and Italian. Syracuse Mets play-by-play guy on the line right now. Good morning, Michael. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Great to be joining you guys.
Listen, I got to say, we were at Citi Field Wednesday night for their worst home game of the season. The New York Mets we're talking about. Of all the games, I'm trying to bring everybody to become big Mets fans, and just was kind of uneventful. And it is, and rain and everything else. And although there was a raccoon running around the Citi Field Stadium in the stands. I don't know if you saw that, but.
I did see that. I wouldn't have been a fan. I would have been moving as far away as possible.
Oh, they are really nice and friendly until they're not. Yeah. Holy cow. And actually one of the camera guys jumped away from it, leaving the camera bouncing a little bit down. So that was wild. All right, let's you guys are home this weekend with the Phillies, right?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, the AAA Phillies. It's a little bit of maybe the matchups of tomorrow that you see here today. We actually had that yesterday. The Phillies' top pitching prospect was taking on one of the New York Mets' top pitching prospects, and that's a pitching matchup that maybe you'll see at Citi Field. By September.
Yeah. Boy, it's interesting too to see Beatty going back and forth, and it's that battle just trying to win that spot. But he has developed so much in Syracuse.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I remember the last time, I was on, we were talking about, Brett Beatty, and, he's someone who I think, like I had mentioned back then, you see a lot of players throughout the years here in AAA, and, Brett Beatty he was doing things and hitting the ball farther and harder than most guys you see at this level. So the talent was definitely there. It's just a matter of whether he could start putting it together in the big leagues. And, so far, maybe he's started to figure it out at that level.
Yeah. Promotionally, what are you guys looking at in Syracuse this weekend?
Yeah, actually a really, really big weekend here. Star Wars night tonight. So the team will be wearing Star Wars jerseys on the field, and those are going to be auctioned off with the proceeds benefiting the Rescue Mission Alliance. We'll have fireworks after the game. Every Friday is a fireworks day. It's also Upstate Medical University night, so we'll be celebrating a lot of the nurses and doctors that do such great work in the community. Then tomorrow is Armed Forces Day, and there will be an Armed Forces Day jersey giveaway. So the first 1,000 fans through the gate get a jersey. That's always the jersey giveaways are always probably our most popular promotion. So if you want to get that giveaway, you can get there a little bit early. Plus, there's fireworks after tomorrow's game. So Friday night fireworks, Saturday night fireworks, and then Sunday we actually have it's a Kids Eat Free Family Sunday. So kids 12 and under, if you buy a ticket to the game, the kids who are 12 and under get a free soda, a free hot dog, a free popcorn, and a free ice cream. Plus, you can run the bases after the game with the family. So that's always something. Wow. That's really fun.
Nice.
And listen, I don't want to bring it up for anything that might be competing with you, but if you went to the Syracuse game tonight, tomorrow, or Sunday, is there a chance you could go near a concession stand and maybe see a game that's being played in New York somewhere?
Yeah, there may be a few TVs that'll be around that you'll be able to kind of keep an eye on that game. We'll be giving updates as well throughout.
Well, that's going to be certainly fun this weekend, and I don't know if you remember, but the Yankees won how many games from the Mets last year?
Oh, you keep this up.
0, none.
That was 0. Yeah, I think you are right. All right, great stuff. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again sometime soon, Mike. And congratulations on calling the game last night on SNY. That was great to watch.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We'll actually be on SNY Saturday as well, so hopefully we'll see you at the ballpark. But if not, then we'll be on SNY, so you can at least watch on TV.
All right, great. All right, have a great weekend. Thanks.
All right, thanks. Really appreciate it.
And let's go Mets. Okay, got a break, and we'll come back here. Tim Reed in. We'll talk about some things that are going on. And also, there was a really local tie-in. So over the weekend, I'm sorry, this feels like a weekend to me, but
yeah, because you're finally working.
Over the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we were in New York for my daughter's graduation, and it was held at Yankee Stadium yesterday. And that we had to be there
That's
so early.
amazing.
Let me tell you, that was fun driving back from late last night.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, we made it all work. But there was a girl, and I don't have the program here, but maybe somebody knows some information about this. So you have probably, I don't know, 45. What's Yankee Stadium hold? I would say it had to be 2/3 full. Yeah. Upper deck was full. Until you got to the outfield.
About 40,000 or 42,000.
So I'll bet there had to be close to 30,000 people, 35,000 people there. And so of this huge 26,000 student university, the person selected to sing the national anthem is from Waterville.
No.
Yeah. But I don't know what happened. Something happened. And she didn't. Somebody else sang.
Was she graduating?
So, yes, graduating this year. So, congratulations there. I don't know what happened. Maybe a little laryngitis or something. I don't know. But they had somebody else singing. But she is an amazing singer. And I really wish I had her name, but maybe somebody does. 315-736-0186 from Waterville. Pretty cool. Quick break. It is, where are we at? 8:39 coming up. We'll speak with what is going on in Clinton as we head into the summer season. Coming up at WIBX.
I got $13,000 in home upgrades, and I didn't owe $1. It was life-changing for my family.
I'm Jen Kita, CEO of Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating. That's a reaction from one of our recent customers who took advantage of New York State's Empower program. He received $13,300 worth of insulation upgrades and a new boiler system and paid $0. At Standard, we'll handle everything: rebates, scheduling, and keeping you comfortable year-round. Start with your free home assessment at standardco.com.
Hi folks, this is Rob Hilton. Your family is your greatest treasure. Is your estate plan ready to protect them when it matters most? At Hilton Estate and Elder Law, we understand the importance of getting it right. That's why we offer a free review of your current plan. Together we'll assess it and provide honest feedback to ensure it truly works. No cost, no obligation, just confidence and peace of mind. Let's prepare for the future together. Schedule a free review today.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law.
Not everyone who handles your personal information is as careful as you are, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the United States. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock will monitor hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. And if your identity's stolen, a U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com. LifeLock. For the threats you can't control, terms apply.
In life, we're often faced with difficult decisions. When it comes to caring for our loved one, the choice can be overwhelming. But amidst the uncertainties, there's one decision that stands out as an act of profound love and gratitude: choosing hospice care. Hospice care isn't just about medical support. It's about honoring the journey of those who've given their all to their families. It's about providing comfort, dignity, and peace in their final days, surrounded by loved ones. Choosing hospice is a way to give back to someone who has selflessly given their life to others. At Hospice and Palliative Care, we understand the weight of this choice. Our compassionate team is here to guide you through every step of the journey, providing personalized care that respects the individuality and dignity of your loved one. When it's time to say goodbye, choose hospice care. Choose love. Choose hospice and palliative care, serving Oneida, Herkimer, and eastern Madison counties. Visit our website, hospicecareinc.org, or call 315-735-6484.
When you need us most.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Isn't it nice to come in and you've got a friendly face and Tim Reed, too?
Because I thought, the Bill Keeler show. I knew a bunch of Keelers growing up. I went to school with Judy Keeler.
Judy?
And I knew Maureen. She was friends with my older sister.
I am not related to any of them.
No, those were good people.
Was the accountant, and I shouldn't say because I don't know who's still around these days, but there was a Bill Keeler. It was South Utica Liquors, if you remember. The Keelers owned South Utica Liquors. No relationship, and I do feel bad at the number of, because one of them, his name was Bill, and the number of pizzas he said were sent to his house in the middle of the night. His number was listed, mine was not. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah, we would be the wealthy Keelers from the Albany area that own all the big dealerships.
Yeah, the cars.
We're not related to them either, unfortunately. Former DA over there and all. Somehow we are the Herkimer County Keelers.
Got it.
Well,
that's us.
every group has to have
that's
people
true.
like you.
That is true, right? Probably we're bandits stealing from the Erie Canal. One
Gypsies,
day.
tramps, and thieves.
That is right. All right. So Joanne Gillis is with us from the Clinton Historical Society. And good morning. Let's talk about this is really about funding for Revolutionary War veterans and others in the old burying ground. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
This is pretty interesting.
You. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. So important to be given this chance to raise awareness of our fundraising.
Excuse me for 1 second. Davey, are you out there? Just tilt that mic down just a little bit. Yeah, because you have to. Yep, that's perfect. You have
is
to
that
talk
better?
Right into it.
Right into it. Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, it is better.
Okie doke. Thank you.
And okay, so talk about the old burying ground.
So we have this really historic gem in the heart of Clinton, New York, at the corner of Kirkland and Norton Aves. It's the oldest cemetery in that area, and it really dates back to 1788, which is going back quite a ways.
Yeah.
It tells the story of our whole early history. If you go around the stones, you really can learn all the names of all the early settlers, the names of almost 50 Revolutionary War veterans and their stories. So
it really
fascinating place.
Is when you go to an old cemetery like that. It's we were talking earlier with the Erie Canal, an old cemetery on a dirt road near our home, where almost all of them had died constructing the Erie Canal.
Wow.
And I'm assuming we see that all along this area.
Yeah.
And really all along the state.
Yeah. What a history.
Yeah.
And, the more you learn about our local history, the more interesting it gets. It's like peeling the layers of an onion. So
I feel like in the past, there were a lot of areas that did a better job, or areas around the country that did a better job preserving history. Obviously, we have, but it takes funding to be able to do the things that we should be doing, because there's such history here. These would all be amazing attractions.
Yeah, and sadly, our historical cemetery, the old burying ground, technically it's an abandoned cemetery. So there is no longer a committee with a budget. And under New York state law, what that means is that the town of Kirkland is responsible, and they do a great job. But their responsibility is to mow the grass, prune the trees. And again, nobody has a big budget for this.
Right.
So we're really lucky in Clinton that a number of community groups have taken an interest in the cemetery over the years. Everybody from the Lions Club to the Boy Scouts, VFW, American Legion, Daughters of the American Revolution, and of course the Clinton Historical Society.
Yeah.
So now we have this Friends of the Old Burying Ground Committee, and we've already gotten a grant to do a beautiful new sign. And that was thanks to the Hamilton College Town Gown Fund.
Okay.
We also were able to get one Revolutionary War tombstone from the Veterans Administration. We applied for a bunch. It's really hard to meet the criteria.
Yeah.
And now we still have 14 Revolutionary War heroes that we really want to honor. And that's a big part of our fundraising push.
I almost feel like you have to get these now. You have to do something with these now because the erosion that's occurring. Sometimes it's to the point where it's almost hard to read the name on the headstone.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And in some cases, we think they probably had a stone. For example, one of the 14 veterans we want to get a tombstone for is Moses Foote, the founder of our village. So I imagine that he had some kind of a marker, but it is long since gone.
Yeah.
So, it's really important. And as you said, the timing is right.
Yeah, it's important right now. So, so who is, in general, who is buried there? Some names, some eras, some history.
I've mentioned Moses Foote, our founder. We don't know the location of his grave, but we know he's there. And the reason we have such good information about who's there is because the very first minister in Clinton was named Reverend Asahel Strong Norton, and he kept a book for almost 40 years. He recorded every single burial in the old burying ground, over 600 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, really an amazing man. And he was a meticulous record keeper. So he not only recorded the date of burial, but if there was anything unusual, he wrote it down. And that's how we know we have, for example, Native Americans and African Americans because it was of interest to him and he recorded it. And so those are the two other groups that we really want to honor with this fundraising. We're not sure exactly what form the marker will take. Maybe a boulder for the Native Americans, we're thinking, and most likely a bench for the African Americans. But again, kind of the forgotten people in our history.
That's awesome. Now, how do you raise the money?
Well, we've done a couple of things. We have a pretty good sized membership at the Clinton Historical Society. We've done a direct mailing. We're doing a lot of interviews with radio and other personalities to try to raise interest.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the things. And we're working with the Community Foundation, which have been great partners for small organizations like us.
We are the keepers of all of this. If we do not act, we lose it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And one of our other partners on this, I'm happy to say, is the Clinton Middle School, which has a history club. And they are helping us build this bench for the African Americans. Their shop is actually part of our efforts, and that's really important because we have to get the next generation involved, Bill, or we're in trouble.
All right. If somebody would like to make a donation, I'm assuming you could do it with a physical check or online.
Absolutely. And right now, I'm just going to read the website address because it is through the Community Foundation.
Okay.
So it is www.foundationhoc.org, then /CHSOBG. So that's kind of a mouthful. But if you go to the Community Foundation, basically, you can find us.
Yeah.
You can search for us there.
All right.
Yep.
And you can give online. And if they wanted to mail in a check, they could do that as well.
They could also mail a check directly to the Community Foundation or to the Clinton Historical Society.
So we have real men get tested, Tim and I, and tested for cancer. And it's really just promoting men who tend to procrastinate a little bit and don't get tested. We go through the Community Foundation as well. It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they handle all of the legalities for you, all the things.
Yes.
It just makes it tight, clean, and much easier.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Takes all the administrative burden off so that you can
otherwise,
focus on the issue.
You'd have to become a 501c3 on your own. That would be very expensive. And then to maintain that every year, all of a sudden now you got to raise so much just to stay operating.
Yeah. And of course, the Clinton Historical Society is a 501c, but nonetheless, we're a small organization,
Right.
and it's wonderful to have a partner like Community Foundation.
Well, Real Men Get Tested are not, but I think me and Tim are when it comes to it. So, all right, anything else you want people to know?
Just thank you for giving us this opportunity, and thank you to this community really for being interested and supportive of our history, because that's what's going to keep it preserved for the future.
Oftentimes we travel elsewhere to see history when it's right here in our own backyard.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Businesses come and go, but history is forever.
Exactly.
And we're a very historical area. We should really, probably a bad word, exploit that as best we can in regards to it and celebrate the history.
Celebrate it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We appreciate it. We'll have details up on our website at WIBX950.com. We'll wrap it up, head into the weekend, coming up at WIBX.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company is excited to announce the return of the 24th annual Adirondack Paddle Fest and Gear Expo. This highly anticipated event will return to Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company on Route 28 in Old Forge, May 16th through the 18th. Join us for sales on outdoor gear, clothing, and boats. We'll have food, craft beer, music, kids' activities, and more. Shop over 1,000 canoes, kayaks, and SUPs from the leading manufacturers and hundreds of accessories to choose from. Representatives and vendors will be on hand to help you choose what is best for your paddling needs. Gear up for all your outdoor adventures with discounts on outdoor gear, footwear, and clothing for the whole family. Shop your favorite brands and get great deals this weekend only at Patagonia, Teva, North Face, MSR, and more. Follow Mountain Man Outdoor Supply Company on Facebook and Instagram for updates or for all your local outdoor needs.
Now through May 31st, get up to $140 back by mail on a Bridgestone prepaid MasterCard. Get $70 when you buy a set of 4 eligible Bridgestone tires. Get an additional $70 when you make an eligible tire purchase with your CFNA credit card. Subject to credit approval, restrictions apply. See Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair with locations in Utica, Yorkville, Rome, and Herkimer. Learn more at tallmanstire.com or bridgestonerewards.com for details.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
I know you were talking earlier about Walking Tall from 1973.
Buford Pusser.
Nobody expected it to do all that well. It was made for only $500,000 and ended up grossing $40 million, based on a real-life professional wrestler turned lawman, Buford Pusser.
Yeah.
And here is a little piece of audio from that, going back to 1973. Here we go.
When was the last time you stood up and applauded a movie? Audiences across America are standing up, applauding, and cheering a film called Walking Tall.
I thought you walked tall! Look like you gotta learn how to crawl!
Walking Tall. It's a deeply moving contemporary film based on the true story of a young man who wouldn't surrender to the system and the girl who always stood beside him.
You gambled your life.
It's the picture your neighbors are talking about. It has been called the best American movie of the year. Join the audiences applauding Walking Tall, rated R.
By the way, the best American movie review from Rolling Stone said it was the best American movie. Anyway, cheap. They made a ton of money. And pretty wow. I love those old trailers.
Yeah.
Because they are so different from a movie trailer. It's like when you see an old movie and you want to, well, just hit the trailer.
Yeah.
It goes on for like 5 minutes and it is completely different. Davey.
And The Rock did a remake of it in 2004.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's one of those classics that he takes, the town is overrun with, bad people or whatever.
Yes,
and he's out there with a club and,
So it was produced by Bing Crosby Productions. Rolling Stone called it the best American movie. And the role of Buford's son was played by, any idea? Leif Garrett.
Oh, I was going to say Catfish Hunter, but
Catfish Hunter is the answer
for everything.
For everything today. Tommy Lee and his wife, Brittany Furlan, have separated. Reportedly, it's over Tommy's drinking. It's nothing new. Go back to 2018 when they were only engaged, and she made this 911 call with Tommy. He was completely passed out next to her.
My stepson and my fiance got into a fight, and he pushed his father. And then he asked his son to leave, and he wouldn't leave, and he punched him.
Any weapons?
My stepson has guns in his room, and that's why I'm freaked out. I just locked the door.
Right now, are you with your husband?
Yes.
Okay, is he sitting or lying down right now?
He's lying down.
Leave him still right now. Don't move him.
I know. I'm so afraid his mouth is bleeding. I don't know what to
ma'am,
do.
is he bleeding right now?
In his mouth, he's bleeding. Oh, my God. He feels like unconscious, like he's out. I cannot believe his son just punched him in the face.
You know what they were arguing about?
His mom, because got mad and posted some ugly photos of her.
And that was what's her name, right? The mother.
Yeah.
Who's got all this stuff out now without makeup.
Not Pamela Anderson.
Pamela Anderson. I think that's
really?
his mother. Maybe not.
Well, I think the kid's got to go see Dr. Feelgood.
So yeah, I got to tell you, Tommy Lee is a mess. If you watched any of that documentary with him and her, man, he was really terrible to her. Paramedics did arrive. The mom she's referring to is Tommy's second ex-wife, Pamela Anderson. Oh my God. He got married the first time to Heather Locklear before that. And another flashback, if you go into search the archives for Showbiz, Tommy Lee brought his wife out to flash the concert crowd in 2023.
Oh, my God.
And before I leave, I'm not even going to get into it, but have you been following any of this Diddy trial? Holy moly!
I'll tell you what, that jury's seen some interesting videos.
And I do wonder. I mean, are they going to? They're trying to say that the adults involved they submitted. They wanted to be involved. So we'll see where all of that goes.
Freak
crazy.
off.
All right, news is next.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. A Town Square media station.
4 days and a lot of deals. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. President Trump's on his way back to the U.S. after a Middle East trip to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. The president at a business roundtable today in Abu Dhabi.
We're developing a lot of fans, but people have said they've never seen anything like's taken place over the last 4 days in terms of investment, in terms of the kind of money coming back into the United States. And all that money, the money is a nice word, but it's really jobs.
He says the U.S. and UAE will together build a huge data center complex there to help